Y'all, if you're planning on coming catfishing with me today, hold your horses. We got to do something first. We got to get us some bait. So I've come back here in this creek. It's a shallow creek, just a few feet deep back here in the back of it. And I don't know how well you can see on the camera, but there's all kinds of shad flipping back up in here. This thing is just flat loaded with shad. Thread fins and hopefully some gizzards is what I'm hoping to get us today. So I'm gonna make some throws with the net here, bring you all with me for the bait catching portion of this trip. Then I'm gonna roll out of here. I'm gonna leave this launch site that I used to come to this creek, and I'm gonna go hit a different site where we're gonna actually catfish today. So I'm gonna put y'all here in the chest. I'm gonna get my shades on so I don't go blind here while I'm trying to throw the net, and I'm gonna just leave the camera running. I'm gonna bring you all with me today on a real fishing trip where you kind of see it all. You're gonna see from bait catching here, getting started, to hopefully pulling in some big cats here later on today. So I'm gonna work us back here a little bit further. When I'm coming into these creeks to throw the net for shad, what I'm looking for is activity, and I'm seeing a bunch of it, but it's mostly back here. There's a tree, brush pile, something right here in front of us. You can see it's real shallow, but from like there back seems to be where the bulk of the activity's at. So when I'm coming into these creeks, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for either shad activity on the surface. I can physically see them flipping to kind of see where they're at. If I don't see that, I'll look for other signs. I'll look for birds. We've got a lot of herons, for instance, here where I live in East Tennessee. You'll oftentimes see them on the banks, and that will be a good indicator that there's some bait fish over there. They wouldn't be sitting there for no good reason. So like right here, we're gonna start making throws, and we're gonna start throwing from here all the way on back, because there was a flip there, there was a flip over there, and we'll just make our way back here, y'all. So my net, it is a 6-foot net, 3/8 inch diameter, allegedly 1 pound per foot. Boy, what a throw to start today. Oh, Lord Almighty, I just lost the credibility. The entire audience just clicked off right there after that. What a lousy throw y'all made. Let's try that again. Good golly, we got to do better than that. We actually had a couple small thread fin in there too. But anyway, 3/8 inch mesh, allegedly 1 pound per foot. This is a cheap Walmart, Ozark Trail, whatever it's called, brand cast net. What their weight claim is, if you get a good quality net and you feel it, 1 pound per foot, and you feel this one, like I've not put it on a scale, but like you can feel the difference, okay? A good quality net feels better, it throws better, it lasts longer. But I don't care how good a quality net you buy, you throw it over a stump or a log or some object in the water, guess what? You're gonna lose it, you're gonna tear it. So this one here, I was pissed off because I'd lost my last expensive one, so I bought a cheap one, and I've been throwing it for a while. So, yeah, small thread fin in there. We don't want that. He can go down my scupper hole here in the kayak or get thrown out on the next throw. There he went. We'll just keep making our way back. We will eventually get what we need. And I don't need a lot of bait today, but we need enough afternoon fishing if we get on a pile of fish, you know, and I want to be able to switch out our baits fairly frequently too. So again, I'm just working my way back. When I make a throw, I generally move a little bit before I make the next throw, because any shad that were around that we didn't net was gonna spook in the shallow water from the sound of the net hitting, right? They're getting attacked from predators all the time with ospreys and hawks and stuff flying down into the water. Actually, I may be telling a lie on that. I don't know if hawks fly down in the water or not. Eagles do and ospreys do. I don't know about hawks. And if you want to know how I throw the cast net, the technique, I've got a video on my channel. It's an old video. I've never updated it. It's from 7 or 8 years ago, but my technique that I use is still the same. Nothing's changed about that. So I haven't felt the need to update the video. Actually, we got one larger shad right there. Still not the size I'd ideally like, but he's at least one that we will keep. And I'm going to get several shad here in the floor of the kayak, and then I'll put them in a bag and stick them in the cooler. But I don't want to waste time putting each individual shad in there right now. And I'm going to move over a little bit to the right. I'm seeing more activity over here. And, you know, oftentimes this is what it takes, man. Sometimes you roll into a creek, you make one throw, you get a whole net full of shad. It's amazing. You feel like a hero. And you roll out. You're ready to go. Other times, man, you got to make a gazillion throws, and you'll get one shad here, one shad there. That's part of the game, man. That's part of it. You'll get your upper body in shape, build some strength throwing this net, especially if you're throwing a heavier net. And I don't like throwing any net that's less than 1 pound per foot. You know, unless you're just super shallow water, which the water we're in here is probably 3 foot. Okay, we got a few in here. I see them coming up to the surface there. There we go. All right, that was a better throw. Let me get them out of there, and I'll take the camera down there and show you what we got. Yeah, much better. Now this one here, little yellow bass, we'll throw him back. We can't keep game fish that are caught in a cast net. It can only be rough fish, shad, if we caught a carp or buffalo, something like that, we could keep them, but anything, bluegill, crappie, bass, anything like that, got to be tossed back out or you'll get a hefty fine. If you are on your own personal time, I ain't gonna tell you what to do. But me filming a video, you know, the old saying, don't incriminate yourself on video, right? Okay. We ain't gonna do none of that. We're gonna keep things by the book. So I pedal a little bit, I'm gliding forward, seeing all kinds of activity here in front of us, and let's just make a throw. Much better throw than the first one. Boy, I butchered that first throw, didn't I? I think I was fearful. I'm always fearful of throwing this camera out of my chest when I do it, so sometimes that gets in my head and messes with my throws. I think we got 1, 2, 3 actually. Okay, progress. They just start adding up, man. You just gotta make some throws. I know this is probably tantalizing TV or computer, phone, whatever you're watching this on. I'm sure this is just tantalizing with entertainment, but it's part of catfishing. If you're gonna be a catfisherman, you've got to get bait. You either gotta catch it or you gotta buy it. And I don't like buying bait. It's expensive, man. And you never know how it's been stored, how it's been treated. I'd just rather catch it myself. That way I know how it's been done, how fresh it is, etc. So that's just me, to each their own. And these shad here, man, if you bought them at the bait shop, them things $2 or $3 a piece. If you get them, you know, the live ones. And boy, it adds up fast, man. Meanwhile, this cast net here is about 40 bucks at the Walmart. So every time I come out and use this thing, it pays for itself. Okay, I've got some more in there. I see them swimming to the top of the net as that thing is on bottom. You just pull it real tight so that way the bottom closes. Oh, we got a net full then. We got a net full right then, man. All right. That is the throw we was looking for. on the first time we threw it. Nope, I threw that one overboard accidentally. I hope that fish tells the stories of how I showed mercy today. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere, folks. Now we're getting somewhere. We've moved further back in this creek, and now we're getting more and more shad. So I'm gonna just go a little further here. There's something else flipping right here beside us, and we'll make another throw. I'm gonna make, we get about one more throw like that, we ought to be good. Here we go. It wasn't a great throw right there, but it opened enough. As far as how big a net, yeah, we got some in there, I see them. As far as how big a net to throw, it's really your personal preference. For me, a 6-foot net is ideal in a kayak. It's manageable and still is big enough to get me bait pretty easily. The bigger the net, the easier it is to get bait, but the harder it is to throw. And in a kayak, you got your pedals, rod holders, fish finder, like everything's close by to get hung on the net. So for me, personally, I think 6 foot's ideal. Come here, little yellow bass, get out of here. Yeah, I think maybe we're just getting enough bait for today because I'm not catfishing tomorrow. So I don't need much more. But I do want to go like right over here where I saw that other shad flip and make a throw. Let's see what's up. Most of the shad I get, gizzards anyway, are usually shallow throughout the year, 1 to 3 feet deep. I think some of these are some smaller gizzards, maybe some larger thread fins mixed in there too. I don't think we got any on that throw. We didn't get a daggone thing on that throw. All right. Let me just look around. Let me look around here briefly and see where some more activity is. Seen a few flipping back there. Right there. Look this way. As you can see, it's a fairly small creek. It's not very long, but it opens up back here and it's real shallow. And these shad on these sunny days, we're in the fall, it's September. Morning temperatures, nighttime temperatures are kind of cool. And then it gets the sun in the afternoons, it heats up, and these shad get real active back here in the shallows. So I want to swing us back around this way. In fact, I want to throw right here to our left. There was some coming up. Right here, I just want to make another throw right here. Right in this area. You just got to keep your eyes peeled, man. They'll usually tell you where they're at, unless they're super deep. Then it gets to be a challenge. But usually you can find some shad in the shallows. Some creeks will have a lot of thread fins, some will have a lot of gizzards. It just varies. You just got to make your throws and figure out which shad are where. That comes with time and experience. There we go. There's some more. Oh, we got us a stick too. A little bonus catch right there, great. At least it broke free. Get that shad out and we'll work on our stick. Then we're going to take a look at everything we've got here and determine if we need to throw, if we need to make any more throws or not. I think we're going to make about 1 or 2 more throws here. Just to be safe, I'd rather have some too much than too little in case we really get on them today. I'm feeling good about today's catfish trip, man. I'm just feeling good about it. Feel it down in my loins. I feel like we're going to have a fun, productive. I did wait a little later to come out today just to let it warm up this morning. It's another morning in the 50s. And I wanted to wear flip-flops today. All right, one more throw. Let's see what we get. I'll let that thing sink all the way down to bottom. I already seen some come up there to the top of the net. We got some in there. All right, let's pull it tight. Let's see what all we got. Yep, we got some more. Let's dump them out. Now let's see what all we've got down here in the floor. I think I'm about ready to roll out of here and go catch some catfish. What do you think? I think we've got enough for the day. Now let's set our net up here and let me show you. Let me show you the process here, kind of what I do for the shad. So to each their own. How long have we been at this? 15 minutes. It took 15 minutes to get us enough bait here to catfish with. So took several throws, but not very long in time. Like there, that's a 7-8 inch shad right there. It's a decent shad. A lot of these are smaller than that, but we'll still be able to use them. We'll put them to work. When I'm in this kayak, I kind of look at the shad as if they're small enough to go down my scupper holes, which are up here. Like this one here, you can see he's stuck. He's too big to fit down it, but if they're small enough to go through the scupper holes, then they're small enough to be set free. Anything bigger than that, I'm going to use them. I'm just going to put them in a bag, and I like putting them, instead of putting them directly on ice, I like to put them in a bag first, then pack the bag in ice. That way your shad aren't getting waterlogged. They're not setting on that water. It keeps them better, especially if you're going to be keeping them multiple days. Not as big a deal in a situation like today where we're catching them and then we're going catfishing. But if you were going to be keeping them a day or two, or especially if you're keeping them longer, take care of them, man, because if you leave them in water, they get waterlogged, they get mushy. Shad are kind of a softer bait anyway. They get torn off the hook much easier. So you want to kind of take care of things. I'm going to knock that bluegill. He can go right down the scupper hole there. Lord, we've got them in my cubby pockets here too. They've jumped around. They've fallen out of the net and made their way. I got 3 of them over here amongst my tools, folks. Lord, they're trying to hide. They'll do anything to keep from getting used as catfish bait, won't they? There's a couple more that got stuck in the scupper holes there. So anyway, now these other fish, I've got some more back here behind me that have flipped up under the seat. Let me set that up here for a second, and then let me get these ones behind the pedal drive. They can go on there. Let me get this one out there. He can come with us. And this one here, I was trying to let you swim free, but you know what? If you don't want to take the opportunity, you can go in the bag. Put my pedal drive back down. Okay, so now 15 minutes, we got us plenty of shad here in the bag. I'm gonna get in my cooler, and I ain't got much ice in here, which again, we're on a normal day, I would take this bag, have a layer of ice, put the bag down, and then put more ice over the top. Now, and I'll do this better. I've got a skipjack down in there too. I'll do this better when I get back to the car and I can actually get out of the kayak, but I just wanted to kind of show you the process of what I do to try to keep that shad as fresh as possible for as long as possible. I usually like using shad the day of, within 24 hours. I don't like using shad longer than 48 hours. It just don't keep, it's not a bait that keeps well. It's soft, it gets mushy. I like to use them fresh when possible. So anyway, we're done with the bait catching portion, y'all. 15 minutes, several throws. Ideally, I'd like to roll back here, make one throw, load it in a net, be done. Sometimes that works out. A Oftentimes it's like today. But if you find a creek like this where they're kind of just everywhere, you know you're going to get them. It's just a matter of putting in the effort. So anyway, let's go get packed up. I'm going to go hit a different launch, and we'll pick up the catfishing portion of the video there. All right, folks, well, let's get the catfishing portion of our trip started. I'm going to take some of these shad, and we're going to do a head and a body section on our 2 rods. But these shad I've pulled out here, you can see they're kind of on the smaller side. So I've cut the head and the tail off that one to make a little bit bigger piece. And this one here, I'm just going to take basically half of it, really, and just use the head portion. We've got plenty here. We don't have to be real conservative with it, but I'm going to show you the rigs, and then I'm going to show you, let me show you this first before we get these on here, just to see what I'm looking at. So I've changed locations, obviously. I've come out here to different sections of the river, and I've come off this ledge. And when I got out here, I hope you can see that with the glare of the sun shining right in the screen. That is all bait from 15 feet down to about 30 feet down. That is bait, man. The bottom half of the water column is just nothing but bait. So we're going to drop these baits down here right off the bottom here, and it's going to look like maybe something's fallen out of them schools of shad that have died. And we're going to see, because with this much bait around, man, there has to be some catfish somewhere down in there. But we're going to take this ledge. Recent catfish trip, I come out and drifted down to a deeper hole right in here. So this section of the ledge comes out of that hole, and we're just going to take it and go on down river here this morning. And we're going to use 2 light tackle setups. We're going to try a couple different hooks. I've been really into the light tackle lately. This hook here is a number 1 size mosquito hook. And don't let the size of that hook fool you, folks. We could catch a monster on this, and if we do, we're in for a good time. You're going to see this rod fold in half. But number 1 size hook, we'll have the gizzard shad head on this one. That's 15-pound line, a little 2-ounce egg sinker. I'm going to drop this down, let that sinker hit bottom, and then I'm going to raise it up so that it's just off the bottom. I want it close to bottom without being on bottom. Now, actually, I got to move us here, folks. I got to slide us forward here a little bit and get us back off that drop, and then we'll get the other line on, and then we're going to drift. The wind is blowing slightly upstream, so we may have to get on the pedals a little bit and supplement our speed. That'll be okay if we have to do that, but we do have some current flow out here today. So this one here, let me get this bait on. That's the gizzard shad midsection. This is a number 1 sized shiner hook. And the last catfish trip, I had some success with these hooks. Got a couple pretty good sized fish on them. I love the thinner wire on these lighter tackle rods because they are going to have an easier time penetrating with the extra give in the rods and me leaning over in the kayak and such. So I wanted to put this hook side by side with the mosquito hook and see how they compare, but everything else on the rig exactly the same, with the exception, of course, of the slice of bait. But we're going to drop this down. The last catfish trip, I had a heavy action rod next to a light tackle rod. The heavy action rod had skipjack. The light tackle had shad. The shad outperformed by a lot. I don't know how many fish I ended up getting on the shad, but we only got 1 on the skipjack and the heavier tackle. It was total domination is what it was. So what I'm going to do today, again, look at all this bait, man. Look at all, I hope you can see that with the glare. I don't know if you can or not. It's tough to film when the sun's behind us shining into the screen, but we're 34 feet here. I got to lower this other rod. Man, that's a lot of bait down there. Hard to compete with that much bait, but those shad in that school, they are alive, and we're going to float these pieces of freshly dead cut bait right under it. And so any catfish that may be working along, kind of following that school of bait around, man, we got an easy meal for them down there. But I'm gonna leave the camera rolling, man. This is you know, another one of those trips here where I'm trying to show you the reality of catfishing, show you what it's like on a catfishing trip, not a highlight video type thing where you're only seeing the catches. You know, a normal video, I'm going to show up and start the video having already caught bait, and you're going to see rods going down from the start, right? This, you're seeing me going out, catching some bait, that process. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Yeah, it takes a while sometimes. We got fortunate on this trip, it didn't take very long. We already got hit right here, I think. Yeah, we did. Something's after it right there. He ain't running with it very hard. By gosh, he's got it though. No, he just let it go. That one didn't act like a very, like a very big fish. He was barely tugging on it, but it gives me a little hope that we were already getting a little love tap there. But yeah, you know, this is, you know, the reality of it. If we go today and we go an hour or more between bites, well, that's just how it is, man, because that's how it is on a real fishing trip. If we were out here together, we may have a long period of time between bites, and then we may go through a school of fish where rods just keep going down for a few minutes too. That's fishing, man, and that's what I want to show you on videos like this. So we'll set out here, we'll catch some fish, we'll talk about life, we'll tell some stories, whatever's, you know, going on. And with me, you're probably going to hear about, oh, he got hit again. He's back after it. I want him to just go ahead and hook up with it. Let's go ahead and get the first fish of the trip here. He's probably going, I need to check that bait in reality here. He's probably ripped it off or foul hooked it or something. I don't even know what's going on here. He's foul hooked it. Yeah, glad I checked that. Glad you talked me into checking that right there, folks. Probably just a little dinkety doodah, and he just hit it in such a way that turned the hook point back in on the bait. But we got it fixed now. We'll drop it back down. I'm gonna have to work us off this ledge a little more here. The wind is not only blowing upstream, but it's blowing at a slight angle, so it's kind of pushing us up on this ledge here, and I want to just keep us on the bottom edge of the, we don't even really have to follow, I'll show you here in a second, I guess repositioned. But we don't even, this area through here, and this will be a good way for me to show you on the graph versus the land kind of reality of how tight this is. So normally I like to follow the contours, right? I like to follow the edge of the channel, and I'm going to work down along this side here today. But you see how tight, how close the channel looks? Well, that's because the land over there, you see it comes off real sharp down to that side. And then over here behind us, it's certainly a lot wider. But you've got the land way over there, it drops off down to a flat, which then drops off again to what would have been the old original river channel. You know, before they made the reservoirs here and raised the water up when they flooded everything. But this was the old original river channel that flowed through here, and I just want to follow along the edge. But when you've got a channel that's so tight, like, you know, we're on this edge, the other edge comes off that bank over there. It's pretty tight through here. You maybe see a buoy down there, you know, see how close we are to it as far as in proximity to the other side over there marking the channel. We could really drift right down the middle through here and have a chance catching fish as they work up and down through here, because they could be coming right down the middle and be relating to either edge of the channel. So I'm mainly going to focus on just keeping us off these ledges. I want to keep us close to a side, but I want to just mainly keep us on the bottom down here as we drift along to try to keep us under that bait. And I turned the graph on, of course, on my way pedaling out through here, and I saw some more bait kind of up on the flat before it drops off. But this section of the river, it just seems to be just flat loaded with bait. I mean, it seems to be just stacked right now, which honestly is a little surprising, because when I was out on the last catfish trip, of course, we started upriver and made our way down. I was seeing like schools of skipjack and white bass busting surface and stuff, but I wasn't seeing a lot of shad on the screen, like deeper shad and stuff. So, but we didn't come down this far either. I'm just we're starting today kind of where I finished on that other trip. So, and we're going to make our way down river here. I'm probably going to fish 3 hours or so, at this point. By the time you get bait and drive and all that, it takes a little time. I'll probably fish another 3 hours or so. And so, in theory, if we make our way downriver about a half a mile an hour, give or take, we'll cover a mile and a half of this ledge as we go down. Would you see that big splash right over yonder there? I don't know what that was. Sometimes if you just look in the right way when big fish comes up, you'll see what it is. And when big fish splash, man, it could be a variety of things. I've seen big paddlefish come up. I've seen sturgeon. I've never caught a sturgeon before. They're in here. I've never caught them, but I've seen them. I've literally had them come up right beside the kayak and jump. I've never caught one. I don't know what that over there was. I just got it out the corner of my eye. It could have been a carp or buffalo or something like that too, for all I know. But the big paddlefish and the sturgeon, they will literally breach the surface. Sometimes they come crashing down. You'll hear these just huge splashes. If you just look, if you get lucky and you're looking the right way when they come up, you'll see them. What I want to see today, though, are some blues and flatheads. That's what I want to see. I want to see, and it's getting this time of day. Of course, it's, we're here in the fall. You never really know when fish are going to bite, but usually flatheads, I tend to do, seems like I do better on flatheads historically at the low light periods, right at dawn or right at dusk type time periods. So we may be a little late for that, but you just never know. I mean, hell, I've caught them. I've caught them middle of the day before too. You just never know. If you get a bait in front of them, especially if it's a piece of fresh bait, fresh cut bait, they'll eat it. And I've caught some big flatheads on this stretch of river, specifically this time of year. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? We're going to get out here and try, though. That's all we can do is put some baits in the water and get down here and just go with it and try to run into them. I'm not seeing as much bait on that screen right now, but I am seeing. Let me get the camera back up here. You can see, well, I don't see any shad at the moment, but you can see some fish coming up investigating our baits right there. Hopefully one of them will take it down here in a minute. But I really like getting out and covering water like this, especially if you got a little current. Now, we're just having bad luck at the moment as far as the direction the wind's blowing. It's a very light breeze, very manageable, but it's blowing perfectly upriver right now. So I'm probably going to have to be on the pedals versus just kicking back and relaxing and letting the current take us downriver, because the wind is blowing just enough to offset the light current flow that we have. But as far as the technique itself, just getting out on the water, putting your feet up, dropping some baits down, and just floating downriver, catching fish, man, it don't get better than that. And, of course, lately I've been doing more of the light tackle stuff and having a blast doing it. And, of course, that last trip where I was in this kayak, I'm in my Old Town kayak today, the Old Town Big Water. So I have the rod holders securely mounted on here. I've got them things bolted through because this kayak has this flat area right here that I could access inside that hatch, so it was real easy to just drill the holes through and bolt them things on, so they're on there secure, so I can fish with my heavier tackle in this kayak with no worries of a rod or rod holder just getting completely ripped off. So I brought out the heavier tackle the other day, and we put the heavy tackle right next to the light tackle, and I mean, it was a butt whooping, man. Like, I mean, the heavy tackle rod, I fished with a skipjack head for part of the day and then switched over to a skipjack midsection. And I don't know how many total fish I ended up with, but like I said, I just got one on the heavy tackle, and it barely got touched. It got nipped a couple times, but I mean, it was barely touched. Meanwhile, the light tackle rod caught several fish, including our two biggest fish of the trip as well. And, you can make an argument as to why that is. Maybe they didn't want skipjack that day. Maybe they wanted the shad, and maybe they did. Maybe it was something to do with either the bait or the fact that the shad we were using was smaller in size than the skipjack. Could have possibly been it. The other thing I had to kind of consider, and I still am considering, is the fact that the water was really clear, and it's fairly clear out here today. We've got a few feet of visibility. We'll see when we bring a fish up. You'll see just how clear, or how deep down in the water you can see. And so it's like, well, if you've got a clear water situation, catfish have eyes. They're not blind. Can they see the heavier tackle and bigger hooks and realize, like, something's not right here, something's up, and maybe that's why they hit the lighter tackle? I don't know. But I mean, the smaller hooks aren't going to be as visible as that number one hook ain't nearly as big as a 10-aught size hook that I use on my heavy tackle. And that 15-pound fluoro, allegedly that stuff's invisible underwater. Now, who really knows what a fish can and can't see? I mean, that's marketing 101 right there. You're gonna sell people on a statement that you can't prove one way or the other, right? So we don't know. It's just what they tell us. They say it's invisible underwater. But either way, that 15-pound line, even if they can see it, they're not going to see it as well as the 80-pound leaders I use on my heavy gear. So if you've got a day where you've got clear water, sunny skies, a lot of visibility, or you got a day where maybe fish are just, for whatever reason, maybe they're just more finicky. They're just lethargic. They're not willing to go after a bigger bait, or, if there is a heavier tackle situation and they do spot it, maybe they are going to be more likely to just keep swimming. Maybe in those situations, the light tackle will get you some extra bites. That's one of those things we'll just have to figure out as time goes on. There'll be more days where I do heavy tackle versus light tackle. I mean, ideally, I probably should be doing that really every trip like we're doing today. You do a heavy tackle rod and a light tackle rod. I mainly just want to put these two hooks side by side and see, as we get bit today, which one gets the better hookups, or does it make a difference? Because, I've had some trips, I was using the larger mosquito hooks, 3/0 size. There we go. Oh, well, he got hit again. Didn't act like any fish with any size to it, but these rods here, man, if they can't hardly bend them over, then it ain't a fish we want to fool with catching. He can come back for it. I'm gonna check this bait, just make sure if he got the bait or if he foul hooked it or what. Yeah, I'm gonna rehook it here. We're gonna drop it one more time and then I'm gonna switch it out. Let's go ahead and switch it out anyway. We got plenty. It's been bit enough, it's been squeezed and a lot of them juices done come out of there. Let's grab another shad here. Most of these shad, you know, hell, I said these are gizzards. Hell, I don't know. They might be bigger thread fins for all I know. I'm not a shad identifying expert, and honestly, I don't really care. I don't care. Fish don't care. Just want some shad. We're just rolling with what we got today. Yeah, that bait there looks a lot better than the one we just reeled back up. We're 37 feet here. Our depth today is going to be fairly consistent, although it is going to get deeper in the short term. We're going to get down to about 40-ish, 40, 42 feet, kind of in that range. Did that other rod just get hit while I was lowering this one? Did I imagine that? I may have imagined it. It'd be just like one of these fish to try to do a sneak attack when I wasn't paying attention while I'm lowering another rod. But yeah, as time goes on, I figure out the gear I want to use. Like I said, I was pretty content with them mosquito hooks. I was using 3/0 size, and then I had a day where I missed probably 10 fish or more. And so then I was like, well, let me go a little bit smaller hook. And I had them #1 shiner hooks, and I had a good day with those. So we just rolling with it, man. We just experiment and we trying. And I'll eventually figure out what I like and what I don't. And then when I do, maybe we can do more days where when I am drifting like this and I can use 2 rods, I'll do 1 light tackle and 1 heavy tackle. Maybe days where I've got, say, some larger live baits, we'll put them on the heavy tackle and then have a lighter tackle rod with the cut bait type thing. I definitely want to do more trips. Like recently I was on Fort Loudon. I was in my other kayak with the motor and we were spot locked. And I was just sitting there having 2 light tackle rods up front, and I threw a big bait off the back. Like big, I was using gizzard shad on the, oh, there we go. That one's gonna hook up. He's gonna pull a little bit too now, ain't he? He's fighting like a Dickens, buddy. Now he's gonna take some line. All right. Well, we're getting the first one here. How long have we been at this now? 20 something minutes? All right. Took a little while, but we got him. Let's see what we get. Get him up here. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a blue. I felt him down there spinning around every which way first thing, but nice to get a bite, man. That's what we want to get today, folks. We want to get some action. This one here, he's a dink. I may need to loosen my drag a little bit too. This one here was on the mosquito hook rig and basically half a shad. The upper half with the head, which we will put another one on here momentarily when y'all get your fish landed. Tell Airplane Man to head the other way too. We don't want to listen to him all day over there. What do you think, fish? You gonna cooperate and come here, or am I gonna have to get the net on you? I do have the net today. We hook a big one, we're prepared. This light tackle stuff, you can't just reach down and grab hold of your line when you got a monster on. So I've had to start carrying a net, even though I don't really like to do so. I'd much rather just grab hold of a fish, but Oh, or the rod got hit, y'all. Let's get this one going real quick. Oh, something nipped it. He didn't take it down. I felt him hit it, though, behind me. All right. Hold yourself up there, fish. Long, skinny dink. Eater size. He goes what he is. This one over here got bumped while I had my back turned getting at him. I see some more fish down there. Look at all that. Look at all them fish right there. Let's grab another shad. Get you another one out here. We're going to do that. This the same way we done the other. I'm just going to cut about, well, cut about half the shad, I reckon. I'm not, like I said, I'm not being conservative with bait today at all. We'll switch it out as needed. I'm not worried about trying to, you know, keep some bait for the next trip because I'm gonna need to reload on bait before the next catfish trip. I'm gonna do some carp fishing next on my next trip. So I'll just go get some more catfish, or I mean some more shad before the next time I go out catting. There's that one there going down. Man, all them fish right there under us. That rod did get, I'm gonna have to reel it up and just make sure. What I don't want is be drifting along with bare hooks. Light tackle, heavy tackle, it don't matter. If you ain't got a bait on your hook, you ain't catching diddly poo-poo. No, everything looks swell. Back down it goes. But yeah, I definitely, on days where I have larger baits like skipjack, white bass, things like that. Oh, left rod again. Now this one was, let me sit back here, see if we can, okay, that one's got it. They were both getting tapped. We're on top of some fish right here, man. Oh, that one just come free. Shine, boy, look at that. Look, he was, my gosh, he slimed up our entire line here, folks. Look at that. Goodness gracious, man. Man alive, all the slime. Get that off that hook point. All right, let's send that back down real fast. I see them there. I'll show you here in a second. There's several fish on the screen. I don't see any bait anymore. We've gotten away from the bait, but we seem to have run into some fish. Look right here on the screen, man. You can see all them little squiggles right there. That solid line, that is the transducer picking up probably our sinker from one of the rigs, but all of that was fish. This right here near that solid line is fish. So, well, we got some around us here. Can we get them to eat it and stay hooked up? But, like I was saying, when you're utilizing a light tackle rods, you can certainly catch big fish. They're going to eat small baits sometimes too, but you're also going to catch a lot of smaller fish, keep yourself entertained, while you've got a big bait out if you're running the heavy tackle and a large bait. So if that large bait don't get eaten, you can still have yourself a day, a productive day, catching smaller fish or maybe big fish on the smaller baits. I'm gonna show you one more time here. Look at that. They're on them, man. They're on the bottom there. They're coming up looking at our baits. Ain't no damn reason for them not to be hitting them either now. You holler down there to them fish and tell them, like, we got them fresh shad here. What more do they want? There ain't no causing them just, okay, all right. Another little tap is all. Ain't no causing them turning their nose up at it now. Got them daggone the filet mignon of catfishing out here. It's actually what I feed my cats, by the way, filet mignon fancy feast, the dry food. Them damn cats eat better than I do. It's been, you know, it's been, side note off the fishing topic, it's been right at about a year, I guess, since we took them damn cats in. It's around the time, we done it last fall. Me and my fiance, my neighbor at the time, boy, I miss her. I had this neighbor girl that lived in front of me, and she didn't keep the property up at all. I mean, that house is a dump. But she didn't steal from me like the new guy has. Anyway, she had all these damn cats, and she moves and just leaves all them cats behind. And they were in bad shape, some of them. And I ended up taking 2 of them in. One of them was supposed to go to my friend Mark and Rocky, Deuce's Wild Fishing Charters. He was looking for like a barn cat. And I'm gonna have to get on the pedals here. The wind's blowing us back upstream. He was wanting like a barn cat, and we never could make arrangements for him to come get it or me to take it to him. And I ended up, you know, getting attached to it and talking the fiance to kind of letting him live with us, you know. And then there was another one, a little orange one, and he was pitiful. Oh my gosh, he was skin and bones. Part of his ear had been ripped off, and he had a rough, you could tell he's just had a rough life. And so we ended up taking both of them in. And I was feeding the other ones, just taking food down to the neighbor girl's house and feeding them. Because, I mean, what do you do in that situation? You just ain't gonna let them starve. But then the people that come to remodel that house, because she had sold to one of them real estate, one of them, you know, buy your house for pennies on the dollar type things. And because I mean, it was a dump. It needed a lot of work. But they come in to fix that place up, and then all of a sudden, them cats are gone. And so I assume they either killed them or they trapped them and took them off. They didn't take them to the pound. I called. I don't know what I was going to do with them, but I was going to go break them out of the pound. But they didn't end up there. So I don't know what happened to them. I would assume they probably either killed them or just took them off. But the 2 we saved before then have been flourishing. The little orange one, we call him Marty. He's about the sweetest, most loving cat ever. Oh, left rod. His ear, you know, it's scarred over and stuff, but he's still missing half his ear, but he's the sweetest cat. Now a right rod. They're messing with them baits down there, but they ain't fully committing to them. Okay, he's committed to it now, I think. Another small though, another tiny fish right here. That's another bite. We know there's some fish here. Can we find something of quality? Yeah, this one's real tiny here. This is why they're hitting it and not hooking up. Even this fish here, you look at his mouth, even that piece of shad that we've been using, he ain't gonna be able to, unless he hits it just right, ain't gonna be able to eat it. Give me a hook back. There we go. Yeah, tiny old thing. Get out of here. Go tell your great Aunt Edna she's the one we want today, fish. Great Aunt Edna. That's who we want. Okay. Another shad. Reach back in there and we'll cut the tail off again. We'll cut the head off, try to make a big a bait as we can out of that midsection. But yeah, them two cats, man. And my fiance, she, oh, hold on. Left rod. Well, something bumped it here. Let's get this. Let's get this next bait down before that fish comes back for it. Okay. But yeah, my fiance, she never grew up with animals because her sister has really bad allergies. Like her sister's allergic to everything. And my fiance, claims she had an allergy to cats. And she does take, I think she gets shots for or something, but she does fine with them. And now she's gotten attached to these cats too. She likes the cats way better than the dog, that's for sure. I think we all like the cats better than the dog. Daphne's a bull in the china shop, as the saying goes. These cats. So the orange cat, and y'all don't give a damn about this, but again, you're on a real fishing trip with me today, so this is the crap you got to hear about. But the orange cat, he's still scared. Like, he's fully adapted to the indoor life, and he likes being inside. He doesn't like going out. He'll only go outside if it's dark. So usually when me and the fiance, when we're doing dishes at night after dinner and it's dark, he'll be at the door and he'll go out there on the porch for about 30 minutes or so, and he don't hardly leave the porch. And then he'll be ready to come back in. Now the other cat, Midnight, he would just soon be out about all day. I let him out before I left the house today, and he'll come in tonight. He'll come in a few times through the day too if I'm home, just to eat and poop. Because he's bougie like that. He would rather poop in the litter box than to poop outdoors. That's how spoilt these damn cats are. But they're thriving, man. Though they were living a poor life out there this time last year, struggling, and we done a good deed taking them things in. Helped them cats, and it's been a good thing for me and my fiance too. We enjoy them. They got their own little personalities, and they both do great with Daphne. Daphne does great with them. My parents' cats hate Daphne the dog. They hate her. But and it's weird too, because like my parents' have a dog, and their cats have grown up with my parents' dog, but they just don't like dogs. They don't like my parents' dog. They don't like Daphne. And them cats, they want to run, and if an animal runs, whether it's a cat or squirrel or whatever, Daphne's going to chase. I think it's just natural instinct for a dog. If something runs, chase it. But, our two cats now, and of course the neighbor girl, she had a dog down there at that house, which I think she took that with her. She didn't take the cats, but she took the dog. I guess they were used to her dog. Oh, right, Rod? Nipping at it down there now. We're at 39 feet. I probably need to drop these down a little bit more. But yeah, these cats that we have, from day one, they haven't been scared of Daphne at all. And so they don't run from her. And since they don't run, she don't chase. And everybody gets along. Unless the cat we call Midnight, he's kind of the dominant one in the house. If he wants Daphne's dog bed, well, Daphne's either going to share it or Daphne's going to move. Because he's going to get that damn bed. But otherwise, man, everybody gets along, and Daphne, when she's been at my parents' for a few days or whatever and comes back home and sees the cats for the first time, she'll go up and sniff like a dog would, and the cats will they don't want her to, but they'll tolerate it, and then everybody just goes on their way. But it ain't like that at my parents' house, though, because them damn cats don't want nothing to do with Daphne, and they'll hiss and run, and Daphne will chase. But our cats, they don't even, you can tell they get annoyed with Daphne when she's sniffing their butts and stuff, but like they don't hiss and they don't claw and all that. It's like it's understood, like it's everybody's home. We're all sharing it. So they've been a good thing, but it don't feel like it's been a year, but it's been right at a year. Somewhere thereabouts. It was sometime last fall. It was around the time I went to Louisiana, I think, for the tournament last year. And I can't remember when that was. I honestly can't remember the date. It was in the fall, but I can't remember the exact dates. But that's when we brought Midnight in around that time. And Marty, I wanted to take to the vet when I got back from that tournament before I brought him in, because he was so sickly and so puny. I didn't want to bring him in to a confined space and him have some disease or something, you know. But he turned out to be fine. He was just starving. You can tell he's one of those cats that just wouldn't, you know, most cats, they adapt to outdoor life, being on their own very quickly. Like a house cat will turn feral real quick out in the wild. But I don't think Marty's the kind of cat that would make it in the real world. Like he's so clumsy and so slow, and his paws are way too big for his body. Like, I just don't think that he would make it out there. And he wasn't thriving well after the neighbor girl moved, because I mean he was just skin and bones, and he just wasn't doing well. I doubt he would still be alive today if we hadn't taken him in. But them other poor cats, I can't save them all, you know, and I don't know what happened to them. They're gone. And right now, we've really only got about one stray in the neighborhood that I see occasionally. And it's the dang wild. You can't do nothing with it. I can't even feed it. Like, I'd leave it some food outside, but the squirrels get it. So it don't do me no good to even try. Them squirrels, I feed them damn things corn. I got them a little feeder that hangs on a tree. I put corn down in there, and they still come up and get my bird feeders. Daphne's gotten a couple of them. Like, she'll take off out the door chasing them, and she's gotten a couple. I don't try to stop her from doing it either. I feel bad when she gets them, but again, they run, so she chases. If they didn't run, she would just go sniff them. But it's almost like it's a game to her when they run. I'm gonna run her good too. I think today I'm supposed to have a bike delivered. I don't know, it was, you know how FedEx is. It'll tell you a date when it's gonna arrive, but then who the hell knows if they're gonna show up on time or not. But Daphne's got another bike coming we're gonna have to film with. I'll probably throw it on the next carp video there. Those carp videos don't perform particularly well anyway, so it's a good opportunity to throw those bicycle segments in on those. That way I don't subject the regular audience, those of you that like the catfish videos and stuff. I try not to subject you all to too much of the sales ads and things like that. But it's hard to turn down them bikes, man. That's about as easy a money as you can make as a YouTuber. Company will give you the bike, and sometimes they'll give you money with it. Most of the time it's just the bike. But I'll film one lap of me and Daphne racing around my yard. I'll talk about the bike for 3 minutes or so. The whole segment will be 5 to 8 minutes. And then I get to turn around and sell the bike. I've got 2 bikes at the house, one for me and one for my fiance that we keep and ride. But the other ones we just sell. And hell, every one of them bikes I've gotten anywhere from $600 to $1,000, depending on the particular model and how much it retails for. So I mean, it's a nice little side hustle. It's a nice little profit. I need to count up how many bikes total I've gotten the last few years. It's somewhere between 20 and 30 at this point. So, you know, you can do the math on that and see how much extra money that is. Like, it's a profitable little venture, so I don't turn them down. As long as they're not wanting something ridiculous from me, and some of them do. Some of these companies, man, they want you to do a YouTube video and make them Instagram videos and TikTok videos and social media pictures, and then they want the rights to your videos to be able to re-edit it and all that. And I have a generic response. Every time one of them pops up in my email, they get a generic response of what I will do and what I won't do. It's all laid out, because I've dealt with enough of them now. Like, I know exactly what they're going to ask and exactly what they're going to want. And so I lay it out, the terms, right up front. And some of them I reply back to and never hear from them again. But most of them are willing to comply. And I just say, I'm going to do one YouTube video, somewhere between 3 and 8 minutes. And I'm not going to do a traditional unboxing video or assembly video. I'm not doing that, because that ain't what you all tune in for. I'll put it in with a regular fishing video. I don't allow them to request edits or reshoots, because been there and done that. They'll want you to redo it 15 times. It'll never be good enough. Not doing that. Not giving up my rights. If they want extra social media pictures and TikToks and Instagram stuff, they can pay extra. Most of them will give you an affiliate link, so you earn some commissions on them as well, which some bike, you know, usually when I get these bikes, they're going to sell somewhere, most of all of them, I get about 1 sale minimum, somewhere between 1 and 5 sales on the bikes, which is profitable for the company. Because, I mean, they ain't got much in these bikes. If they're selling them for $1,500, you got to figure at most they've maybe got $200 in it. Most of that's shipping. Shipping the bike, they come from, oh, hold on, left rod. There he goes. Ooh, nice takedown. Oh, our other rod got hit too. We're doubled right here, folks. Let's work on the one in the hand as that one goes down still. We're doubled. 40 feet deep here. Let's get this one up to the surface, and I'm going to pick up on the other one. The other one's just sitting there. This one here in the hand ain't going to be very big. But I want to get him up here so he don't get tangled up with the other one. Just like that. We're just drifting along, not doing diddly poo, and 2 rods go down. Okay, here's this one. Here he is, another dink. I think this one's probably going to be a dink too, the way he's not doing nothing with that rod. But it's 2, man, back to back. And these right here, both of these are fish we probably wouldn't have caught even if they hit our heavy tackle rods. They're so small, they would have probably just hit the bait and ripped it off or took some bites out of it or something. You don't catch a lot of fish this size on the 10-aught size hooks if you're using a larger size bait. You know what I mean? Like, a fish this size is going to have a hard time getting a bait and the larger hook. So the lighter tackle does get you more bites, just from the standpoint that this fish has an opportunity to actually get hooked versus just taking a bite out of the bait. So if you want action, and I do like getting action, man. I'd get more if this fish would open his mouth so I could get the hook out. There we go. Get out of here, fish. I'll tell you what, let's do before we land the other one. You know what I want to do. You already know. I'm going to put another bait on and drop it down. We'll do that. Let me just go ahead and grab 2 shad out of here, because we're going to need them. We got to rebait that other one in a second. Yeah, I want to go ahead and we'll just go ahead and drop another bait down here before we land that one, because them fish, truth be told, may have some friends that are down there willing to eat while we get the other one unhooked. It's fun, man. I don't care how big the damn fish are. It's fun when them rods go down. I wish we'd get on some today, though, that are massive. You know, big fish that are just going to bury the rod and start peeling the line off there and take 20 minutes to land. That's what we want today. Let me just pedal up here a second where the wind's blowing us away from where I'm dropping the bait. Okay. All right, we got that one reset. Now let's get a hold of this one. Come here, fishy. Come here. Come here. Easy now. I don't want to wear that hook. Easy. Easy. Come here. Y'all get hold of you fish. Get hold of you fish here. I don't know why you make me unhook these fish anyway. Y'all ought to be doing it. There we go. Yeah, skinny old dink. He can go down there and brag about how he got caught by us. He'll be telling all his friends. This will be the highlight of his week. Ain't every day he gets caught by a YouTuber. Not every day that happens. Okay. Run that back through that shad there. Next bait going down. I see some more shad down there now. We've got shad. I'll show you on the screen here in a minute. They're about 15, 20 feet deep. And then we've got catfish under them. I see them on the screen there. I assume it's catfish. Let me dry my hands off here a second. I'm going to show you what we're looking at there on the graph. The wind keeps pushing us this way, so you can see we're kind of on this ledge right now, but here's all this bait, and there's some up the surface too. But 15 to about 20 feet down, they're thick, and then you get these squiggles here. That's the cats. So, how y'all, okay, y'all good there. Let's make sure they didn't splash something on the screen. Let me just pull us off this ledge a little bit here. We're going to be battling a fish, and that wind is going to push us right up on it. I wish y'all would tell Bass Boat Man over here to get on too. You know I don't like talking on camera around people. I don't know why he's got to be fishing right there with all this water. 2 of us out here today. And we're going to end up with an earshot of each other. Yeah, I want to catch some more, man. I want some of them hard pulls, drag ripping. I'm going to be doing that soon anyway, though. Here in, of course, I got my wedding here. Real soon. 3 weeks, 4 weeks? It's soon. But then after that, in November, I'm going back down to Florida. I'm going to be doing some more shark fishing. I've got a new rod I'm going to be taking with me this year. I'm probably going to take that new rod I got for the sharks. I'm probably going to take it catfishing and try it out for that first. But it's a spitting setup. So we're going to be seeing some, kind of like this situation. We have a big catfish hit one of these light tackle rods. We're going to be seeing that with the shark fishing. I've been running the bait casters last few years shark fishing, the clickers and all that. And, oh, left rod here, something's messing with it. Nipped it. And I like those setups. I'm running the Catfish Sumo Elite 150 rods. They're really heavy action. And they're perfect for shark fishing, honestly, just because they're so heavy. But I wanted a spinning setup too. And so I was over in Ohio for that tournament up in Hoover. And I was staying in the Columbus area there. Right rod. I got nipped again. Anyway, I was staying in Columbus, and I was staying at that hotel right there next to Cabela's in the nice part of Columbus. And I went in there and looking around and stuff, and they had this, I believe it's called a big water, ugly stick big water. I may be telling a lie. My kayak is the Old Town Big Water. Maybe that's why I have Big Water on my mind right now. But I think it's Ugly Stick Big Water. Anyway, it's 6 foot long. It feels like a broomstick. Oh, hold on, left rod's getting messed with again. I put the camera on it and it stops. But it feels like a damn broomstick. It feels perfect. So I went ahead and got it. And I've got a Daiwa BG 4500 size reel. One of my channel members had given me a few years ago. Ed from Oklahoma, I went out to that catfish conference in Missouri, in Kansas City. And he had come out and he brought me that reel because I like the 4000 size for the carp fishing. And I've actually got the BG 4000s on here. But the 4500's a little bigger, and so I'm going to put some braid on there. And that's going to be my shark rod for me, because I like getting out there in the kayak and just going after black tips and whatever else I can hook into. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun with that spinning setup. It's been a lot of fun with the heavy bait casters, but I think it's going to be a blast. I want to try it out, but I need to do it on some catfish trail. I need to take it out on the catfish trail, try it out, just to see if it's as heavy action as I think it is. You can only learn so much messing with a rod there in the store. Like I'll sit there, I put it down between my feet and like bend the rod tip. And, it feels stiff as a board, but what's it going to be when you've got a 4, 5, 6 foot black tip running full speed? How's it going to hold up then? Because you want to be able to get some leverage on them things. When I went down there, I think it was my first trip down to the Keys when I'd stayed with Elias. I had taken not only the Elite 150 rods, but I also took my Golly Whopper rod, my signature series rod from Catfish Sumo, which is this rod here going to go down? Boy, if he's hooked, he ain't very big, because he can barely do anything. He can barely do anything with that rod. Yeah, I'm gonna rehook it. Bait still looks good. It's got part of its innards hanging out, but it knocked the hook, kind of displaced it a little bit. Oh, hell, here comes 2 cruiser boats up through here. But anyway, the first time down to the Keys, I took the Elite 150 rods and I took my Signature Series catfish rod. And my Signature Series rod, it's rated medium heavy. It's way heavier than these rods here we're using today, obviously. But it's nowhere near as heavy action as those Elite 150 rods. Those Elite 150 rods, Catfish Sumo sells, are absolutely just, they're like a damn shark rod, honestly. So I hooked in, the only hammerhead I've caught so far, I hooked into on my gollywhopper rod. And boy, I mean, I got it up to the kayak. It took a long time, but I got it up to it. But I'll tell you, man, after doing that, like I was wore out. Yeah, them guys blew right by us here. We're about to get hit with some boat wake. They put off these high and tight waves. Jerks. Granted, I am out here in the middle of the river, but still. Nobody shows you any courtesy. Here comes another one up through here too. I wish we wasn't so damn close to this guy. I don't like talking around people. I don't even know what he's fishing over there. He's up real shallow, probably crappie fishing. He's just sitting there like he's on a brush pile or something. I may turn us around here in a minute so I ain't talking right toward him. Just right now it's easier to kind of go into the wind here as it blows. That's another daggone houseboat looking thing coming right there. Well, we sure have seen a lot of boats all of a sudden. But anyway, my gollywhopper rod against a 8 to 10 foot hammerhead, a little undermatched. So I definitely have concerns about this spin. Oh, fish. Did he hit it? Well, he nipped it. I think he may have it actually. He may be sitting there with it. Nope. I thought he was sitting there. He's still hooked good. That guy's honking at me. I don't know if that was a friendly honk or a screw you honk. Could go either way. You never know with these boaters. I find it best not to respond in that situation because I don't know the best way to respond. Should I do a friendly wave or wave with one finger? Don't know. Don't know what's appropriate. Yeah, so much for a nice peaceful day all of a sudden. Which that's on me. I should have got out here earlier. Like I said, I wanted a flip-flop kind of day. Plenty warm enough now for flip-flops once the sun's out and about, but before sunrise, it's a little nip in the air. I want my little piggy toes getting cold. I ain't seen that guy over there in that boat catch anything though, have you? He's working around that pole right there. It's about probably 2 feet deep. I ain't seen him catch a damn thing, but he's been there forever. Something got hit. I think it's this one maybe. Oh, there he is. There he is. Oh, buddy, he's gonna pull. And he just come free. Well, my line's a little. Yeah, let's lower that drag a little bit. Oh, he's on this one now. He's on that one now. All right. Oh, and that one come free too. Hell far. I think we've lost both baits. Dadgummit. Yeah, folks, these hooks, man. Work in progress. Of course, these, depending on how big them catfish were, hell, they may have been, super tiny and not had the bait and the hook. I don't know. I see some more on the screen right there. Let's try to hurry up and drop this down. We'll finish reeling in our other one. I think he got the bait on it, though, too. How did y'all lose 2 fish like I've never lost a fish in my life. Have y'all not learned anything from watching me? Here I did try to let you reel in a couple of them, and I instantly regret it. You've never seen me lose a fish in my entire life. Yep, that one got robbed too. My sinker's gotten all knotted up here in my line, and I ain't even trying to fix it. I actually am going to try to fix it, maybe. One of them fish had spun it around and tied a knot in it. There we go. Here, let's get this other shad. I'm just going to put another midsection. I'm going to stick with the heads and midsections. We could put a whole one on. That'd be a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger bait anyway. Let's do the heads and midsections right now, though. This one's a smaller shad here. That's about the size of a quarter. If we can't get to... Actually, let me hook that a little bit shallower. If we can't get a fish to hook up with that bait and the hook, then we don't want it. That one over there just got hit too. We're on some fish right here, man. These things are getting hit. Just need some better quality. He's back after it again. I think he's got it. He was tugging on it. Take them scrap. Maybe them dinks right there. I'll take our scraps. But you can see the water clarity. Look at that shad fall. Watch it go down. I mean, we've got 3 or 4 feet of visibility down there. So you see what I'm talking about, man. If these fish, if they can get a look at our baits and stuff, like they're going to be able to investigate it before biting. I better make sure we've still got bait on this one. Yeah, we do. All right, back down it goes. I don't like them hitting the bait and not hooking up. I want to reel them in. I'm in a mood to get bit today, man. I could have been talked into going ultralight fishing again. You wouldn't have had to twist my arm to go do it. I enjoy the hell out of some ultralight fishing. Catching bluegill, bass, whatever. Oh, he got it. He's got it in. It wasn't down there long after I dropped it back down, was it? He was right back on it. Let's see if we can get doubled up here while we're reeling this one in. 40 feet deep. We're kind of just going around the bend here. Yeah, another eater. Come here, you old eater. You're lucky we don't eat them around here. It's all contaminated water through here. You don't want to eat none of these fish. Come here. Act like somebody. There you go. There we go. Oh, dinkity-doo. Dinkity-doo-dah. I didn't realize when we netted all these shad earlier, I didn't realize some of them was as small as they are. That one got thumped too. Look at it. Look at it. He's just kind of sitting there with it, man. That's a slow pull. Now he's going to run. Now he's going to run with it. He thumped it and just kind of sat there. Interesting bite. I feel him though. It is a blue. At first I thought the way he hit it might be a flatty. Let's get him up and then we'll drop the other real fast before we land him. We're definitely on some fish right here. I see the bait on the screen, and we know there's some fish here. Again, fish like this on our heavier tackle, hell, we'd winch them up in 10 seconds. This takes a little longer, makes it more enjoyable. Oh, it's a longer one anyway. He's skinny, but a little bit longer fish. Okay, let's put this shad head on this one. Get it down there real fast. If y'all's a fishing partner worth a damn, you'd done had this done for me. I want to get this down. I'm going to show you the screen real fast, and then I'm going to land him. So I want you to see what I'm looking at on the screen. I've showed it several times down through here, but I don't know what you can see and what you can't based on the sun angle at the time. So I want to make sure at some point you're able to see this stuff. But like here, there was a fish. There was one on the bottom, and that right in there is bait, about 30 feet deep. And it looks like some more stuff up here closer to the surface too. Oh, let's get him and get him going. Come here, blue kitty. Blue kitty that I wanted so much in my heart to be a flathead. I really wanted you to be a flathead. He says I can call him whatever I want to if I'll just let him go. He says, call me a flathead, Justin, I don't care. I just want to get the heck out of here. All right, look how skinny that thing is though. One of you's go fix that fish a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. He needs it, buddy. He needs every calorie he can get right now. All right, the wind's blowing us up on the sledge, folks. I'm gonna pull us off this ledge just a little bit, and then we'll grab another shad. Okay. Yeah, that's another small one here, but that's all right because we're just gonna make one bait out of it. I've ripped that one up. Throw them other pieces down there in the water, feed the hungry children with them too. Lord Almighty, we got another houseboat coming. I'm about over these people, man. It's been several of them. We got a ball game this weekend, a home game, so it's probably the Vol Navy people making their way up early to go party. You can't get me out here on a weekend on a football home game, man. The houseboats are ridiculous. Best I can figure, they're just going up early today. Yeah, I got to get us back in the channel a little bit. We've come up 38 feet right here. The wind just keeps pushing us toward that ledge. When I take the foot off the gas here on the pedals, something was hitting that left rondo. He's after it. He's after it. Oh, good. I think Bass Boat Man's finally leaving over here. This is an awkward situation. This boat's going to go between me and Bass Boat Man. At least he's taken off. I'm feeling much better already. You know, I just don't like talking around camera, around people. And I mean, granted, y'all are watching this video. It's no different. Somebody out here. Hell, this guy, I guess, is going to go behind me here. What an idiot. What a moron. You got this whole other side of the channel over here. He's going to cut between me and this island. This is right here is the exact kind of person that don't need alcohol this weekend, and he'll be up there drunk as a skunk at the ball game, and then driving that big boat back downriver after the ball game, or the day after. usually the heaviest houseboat traffic is the day of the game. They go up the morning of. Some of them will come back after the game, and the rest of them will be coming back on Sunday. And boy, you couldn't pay me to be out on the water when all them people going by. I mean, hell, it's been bad enough out here this morning, and we ain't seen but a handful of them. We back out here to channel though. At least I can, with Bass Boat Man going over here, I can get closer to this side of the channel as we work around this. You can see here, hopefully you can see how it kind of starts to make a bend around here a little bit to the left. Usually on bends, I like to work the outside, but we've been kind of over here and getting bit, so it don't really seem to matter. Like I said, the actual channel through here is so narrow. That's a turd on my hand. Look at that. Dadgummit. Y'all, I'm sitting here with doo-doo on my hand. Y'all didn't even let me know about it. You gotta help a friend out now. That's like you see a friend got a booger hanging out their nose. You don't let them just walk around with the booger hanging. You tell them. Good golly. I can't count on y'all for nothing. But anyway, I was trying to say, usually on these little bends, like this ain't a real sharp bend at all, but it is an outside bend. I like going kind of on the outside. But the actual river channel here, the original river channel, is so narrow through here. It really don't matter which side you go. I mean, you go right down the middle, you go down either way. These fish are going to be able to pick up on your scent through here. So that's one of the perks of fishing a tight, narrow channel. That's one of the reasons, like when I go down to Nickajack, down there in Chattanooga, and you fish in the kind of the upper end where it's that deep canyon. And I've got a bunch of videos on my channel fishing down there. I mean, 100 feet deep. But it really don't matter how you go down through there, because the channel's so narrow, fish are going to be able to find your bait regardless. Like I consider it to be easier fishing because of that. Because you take a wider section of the river, if you're working a ledge, really you're working one side. Like if you're working this side of the ledge, fish 200 yards away on the other side of the ledge, they're not even going to know your bait's there, right? So when you get these tighter areas, it really allows you to put your baits in front of as many fish as possible, or give those fish a much better opportunity to find your baits. So, I really like going down there, but I'll tell you this, the last time I went down there though, I don't think I told this story. If I have, I apologize, it may be a rerun. I don't think I have told this story though, come to think of it. But anyway, I went down Chattanooga recently, and I actually had a terrible day. I got skunked, so I didn't get any video content on that trip. But after getting skunked down there, I'm on my way home, and let me just check these baits. We're 38 feet deep. Let me just make sure. May need to raise them a little bit. Yeah, that one there. Should need to lower that one. There we go. Anyway, I'm on my way home from Chattanooga that day, and I'm hungry, right? So I pull off interstate exit, and I pull into McDonald's. And this particular McDonald's it's like connected to a gas station. So let me try to give you a visual here. Imagine this is the parking lot, right? Well, this is high-tech graphics right here, folks. So you've got the parking lot, you've got the gas station, and there's a drive-through lane. You pull in here, and it makes a round. It goes around at a bend here, and you circle back around by the store, by the drive-through window. Hold on. This fish has interrupted our demonstration. Oh, and he just come free. damn it, fish, if you're going to interrupt what I'm trying to throw down here, at least get hooked up. I'm telling a story with visual graphics. It's just, for those of you that don't like me, you'll appreciate this story and what a fool I made of myself. Let me get this bait reset. There we go. So anyway, so you turn in the parking lot. You've got to go around through here, place your order here in the corner, and then you make another, it's like, you know, a round through here to come get your order here. Well, when you go to turn, there's a concrete barrier, like a concrete curb that follows the turn lane all the way through here. And I'm looking at that, and I've got my truck and, you know, the big kayak trailer. And I'm like, well, hell, I think I can make it. So here I go, all the way down through here with the concrete curb on each side. And I place my order, and I go to make the turn here, and I'm like, oh no, I can't make it. Like the lane is too narrow and the turn is too sharp. Like my trailer, I can't get it. And so it ain't just about like running over the curb either, because there's them yellow poles sticking up here. So like if I run over the curb, my fender's still going to hit this yellow pole. So I have to back up all the way. Thank God I didn't have anybody behind me at the time. But I had to back all the way down this turning lane, all the way back out here into like the gas station part of it as people are trying to turn in off the road here. It was, people were sitting there waiting on me because it was a tight lane anyway, which I shouldn't have turned down in, and I know I shouldn't have, but I thought I could make it, and I was hungry, and I didn't want to go in. You know, I don't want to go in to get fast food. I just want to pull through a damn drive-through window. And why they had done it that way, you have to think you're a McDonald's right off the interstate connected to a gas station. Somebody's going to pull in there with a trailer. But I guess they didn't want you going through the drive-through with the trailer. So they'd put up that concrete, and I mean, it was embarrassing, folks. It was embarrassing. I made a complete fool of myself. So, yeah. So needless to say, I'd placed my order before I realized I wasn't going to be able to make the turn. And after I got out of that and made a fool of myself with the people who was at that point trying to turn into the lane that I was backing out of, I was like, you know what, McDonald's can keep it. I got back out of there and just kept going. And then the story gets worse. So I'm pissed off, man. I'm cussing the whole way. Like, I'm mad. And I'm embarrassed and mad, you know. And I go to get on the interstate, and I'm not paying attention. I get on the wrong lane. I go south instead of north. So then I have to drive a few miles before I can get off at the next exit and turn around and get back on the northbound lane to actually go home. I said, you know what? I don't need to eat lunch. I drove my ass all the way home hungry after that, because I wasn't even trying to do anything about it. I wasn't going to dare try to go through another damn drive-through. But you know, I was in the truck, and I was pulling my newer kayak trailer. I got it last year, but it's newer to me because I've not been, honestly, this year I haven't used the Hobie kayak with the motor that much. I've really only used it for tournaments and kind of travel trips and stuff. So I haven't fully gotten used to it. My car, yeah, I've got a compact car. That's actually what I drove today, towing this kayak. But the car with a little jet ski trailer for this setup, I can get in anywhere. I can pull in any parking lot, any drive-through. It don't matter. I can get in there. But that's what I'm used to. And so when I'm in the truck with the other trailer that's not only longer, but it's also wider, I can't get in the places that I used to be able to get. And I got myself in a situation at that McDonald's. I should have pulled out the camera, because it would have been one for the ages to film that show. What a blooper that was. Yeah, if there's, you know, and that's the bad thing about having a little bit of a following on the YouTube and stuff. Like, people know my kayaks. So like if any of them people down there that day, if they saw me, they knew who I was. You know, it ain't like you can be embarrassed anonymously in that situation. Like, it was obvious I had made a stupid mistake pulling in there. But I mean, they ought to put up a damn sign, no trailers or something. No trailers, you won't fit. So I guess they just assumed that you'd have to be a true idiot to pull in there with that little concrete barrier they set up. And I felt like a true idiot. But yeah, I got out of there, got on the wrong interstate lane, had to drive a few miles back toward Chattanooga, then turn around, come back home. Took me even longer. I just come home hungry. I said hell with it. I didn't need to eat that day. I'd just wait till dinner that night. But yeah, I got that damn trailer last year. Well, I'd ordered it last summer, but then it didn't get delivered until around Christmas. But hell, I ain't hardly used it. Really, I mean, just the tournament trips and a few local trips where, but really when I've gotten home from tournaments and still had the trailer hooked up, that's when I've used it. But I just think this year I've been kind of getting back more to what I consider real kayak fishing, you know, human powered, if you will. My kayaks are pedal versus paddle, so they're not really like a traditional kayak per se, but it's, oh, left rod. Another one tugging there. You know, this is more basic, more simple. Don't have the motors and batteries and all that, and I enjoy it more. And so this year I've kind of been focused a little bit more on me and having the most fun possible on my trips versus, oh, right rod. He ain't pulling hard though. Y'all get this one here. Y'all handle my light work here. He said he don't even want to be handled. That fish said if I ain't gonna be respectful of him, he'll just let the bait go. It's still hooked good and everything. Let's send it back down. That's a tiny one there, had to be. We didn't want that. Even you didn't want that one. But yeah, this year on YouTube, I was like, instead of me trying to maximize the number of videos I'm putting out, I'm gonna try to maximize the fun I have. And so I've been in this kayak. Well, I ain't been in this kayak. I have been lately, but I've been in the pedal kayaks. I've been in the Lynx some. I bought that Native Slayer 10. I spent quite a bit of time in the summer, which I think one of my channel members is possibly going to buy that kayak because I'm gonna end up selling it. But now I've been back in this one, and you know, I've been having a lot of. And of course, I thought now that one might be worth catching. Might be a little better. He's going to at least pull a little harder, ain't he? He's going to pull a little harder. All right. Go ahead and take that line, fish. I'll make it up here in a second as I reel you in. At least he got hooked up, didn't he? Oh, that one got thumped. The left one got thumped. There it goes. Y'all grab that rod. We doubled. We doubled here, y'all. I can't do but one at a time now. Yeah, another dink, but at least he hit it harder. Let's set him in the rod holder. Oh, this one let go. He got tired of waiting on you. He said, I'll just take the bait and go on. No, he didn't either. The bait's still on there. Well, let's send it back down. We'll see if we can catch him while we deal with the other one over here. He got tired of waiting on you. He said, man, if these people, if they don't want to catch me, they're just going to leave me in a rod holder all day. I'll just go on. He got other stuff to do. He had a dentist appointment, probably. He had to go get a tooth fixed after we just put a hook through it. This one is another skinny thing. Oh, he's on it again. There he is. Okay, he's going to give us a second chance at it. No, he ain't. He come free. If they hit it again, I'm just going to go ahead and get this and land it. I ain't playing their games. I think they're just taunting me now. You want to spin around? I feel like you're going to start rolling and thrashing around, fish. I knew he was going to do it. Get out of your system. Okay. No. These little ones are always the hardest ones to get hold of. Pop that hook, fish. There we go. Yeah, another dink, but at least he hit it harder. He was more fun than some of the others have been. Them little ones on the lighter tackle are fun when they hit it and run. Some of them we have caught today ain't really fought too terribly hard. But yeah, I thought I would end up getting less content this year because I was going to focus on me a little more. And in reality, I've been able to put out about the same number of videos as in years past. Just being out here, and really the only big difference between my big Hobie kayak and the motor versus, say, this one or the Lynx or that Native Slayer, the biggest difference is the motor gives me more range. Like, I can go farther and I can get there quicker than what I can with the pedals and the slower speeds. It also gives me an opportunity for more rods. So, like, this kayak has 2 rod holders, my Lynx 2, the Native 2, the Hobie Pro Angler I got 4. And some days, especially if you're in a tournament, like, I might want those extra 2 rod holders. I still catch plenty of fish using 2 rods. Hell, today, I promise you today, as many fish as we've got already here in this short of time. What we've been at this now? An hour and a half or so? Hell, we could have drifted down through here with 1 rod today and done just fine, had us a productive session. But it's nice having, in a tournament, it's nice just having the options. If you want to suspend baits and drag baits, or sometimes in tournaments I'll have maybe some live baits, so I can suspend 4 rods and have cut bait and live bait. Oh, another one. On that chunk we just put down. He's going to be another one, though, that y'all don't want to reel in. He's tiny. And I know what some of you are saying. Well, Justin, you're using small baits today. Well, that's just what we got. You know what I mean, Vern? That's the hand we're dealt. That one over there got, oh, he let go. You know, we just playing the hand we dealt. But I've caught some big fish on the small baits. And like I said, that last catfish trip, our biggest fish, we had a big skipjack head for part of the day and a big skipjack chunk for part of the day. And we caught that one fish, but the one fish we caught on that heavy rig wasn't nearly as big as a couple of the others we'd got on the shad chunks that are about the size that we were using out here this morning. So it really, I think a lot of it comes down to just getting your bait in front of big fish. And you know, out here today, I don't know that we've got our baits in front of them. Hell, there may not just be any big fish out and about right now down through here that we've drifted by yet. Impossible to know. I do think, as a general rule, I think fishing in clear water is a little bit more difficult for the big fish. I like a little color to it, which we just ain't had lately. It's been real clear. We've had some rain, but not a lot of rain. We've had some current flow, but not a lot of current flow. And it's just clear water situation right now. There's some more fish though right there. there in front of us. But yeah, when it comes to personal enjoyment, I'll tell you, I mean, just from a fun perspective, I would rather be in a smaller kayak like this versus my Hobie Pro Angler with the motor and all that. It's more fun to catch fish in it. It's more fun to just be in as far as just a kayak trip goes. And so, if I'm just going out fun fishing, I'm not competing for money in a tournament, or I'm not worried about making sure I absolutely get a YouTube video today, then I'm going to take this kayak or my Hobie legs or whatever. I'm probably not going to take the Hobie. Like if I didn't do YouTube and I didn't fish the tournaments, I wouldn't even have that other kayak with the motor. I would have ditched it a long time ago. So, this is just more enjoyable to me. And I hope too that it's, when new people into the sport find these videos, like I hope that it gives them some hope that they don't need all the, because I mean, some of these guys, and even my kayak that I use for tournaments, like if you bought every piece of it new, it would be expensive. Now, that kayak that I've got, it's a 2017 model, and I bought it used, so I don't have as much in it. But a lot of our guys on the tournament scene that have bought new rigs and paid retail prices, hell, some of them's got $10,000+ in their setups. Like, I mean, these are high-priced setups they've got going. And I think it turns people off that are new to the sport. So I'm hoping that somebody clicks on this video, they're new to catfishing, they see me in a basic pedal drive kayak with a couple rod holders attached and, small, lighter, ugly stick rods here. It gives them hope that they can go out and do some catfishing too. Oh, is he going to stay hooked up? I think he is. I think we need to lower the drag a little bit on this one too. I've tightened them drags up during a fight and forgot to back off of them a little bit. That's what's happened. I don't know if we're going to get anything of quality today, but I'll tell you, just numbers-wise, for no further distance than we've covered down through here, that's a dang channel cat there, but this one just got hit. Let's see. Oh, there it goes. It was pulling a little line. Oh, and he pulled off too. I think he got our bait. I think he ripped us off. He did. Well, let's cut 2 more baits. That channel cat can wait a minute. I ain't trying to cater to him, by gosh. We'll just go ahead and get both these baits cut and ready. Dang old channel cat. But yeah, we've caught some numbers of fish today. Like, it's going to be a very productive time, numbers-wise, for no further distance than we've covered. I mean, we really just haven't went that far down through here. I mean, hell, hour and a half or so now. At a half a mile an hour, we ain't even went a mile. You know what I want to do? We've been running the head baits on that mosquito hook on the other side. Let's switch that up. Let's put the head baits on this shiner hook here for a little while and see how it does. Because I feel like we've lost, maybe it's just in my mind, but I feel like we've lost more fish on the left rod than the right rod today. Is that my imagination, or is that how it's been? I ain't been paying attention as closely as I should have been. I didn't pay attention as close as this channel cat did. Channel cat, you seen any big flatheads down there? Something big enough that we need a net for? He's got all in, look at him. He's tangled up all my line. You got it all wrapped around you there, channel cat. Uncalled for, unnecessary. Look at that. Now you done lassoed yourself. If I told y'all how much I hate channel cats lately, I do. I don't like them things. Okay, well, I just popped the camera with that sinker. Did you hear that? Oh, that one's hooked up again. Hold on, y'all, hold on. Let's drop this one down. Let's get it down there, and then we'll... He's still on there, too. He's still on there. Let me just lower this one down. Did I just bust that lens? No, it's okay. I hit that lens, or the camera, with the sinker. I wonder if I hadn't busted. Okay. Now, let's pick up on this one. But we're on some fish, man. There ain't been none of them over about 2 pounds, but we've been on. Oh! This one's got some fight into him at least. They've been small today so far, but boy, they've been abundant. This one's gonna pull. I like it when they pull like that, folks. Even if they ain't a monster, I like them when they fight. When they got some juice to them, man. When they put the heel to the steel and take off, I like it. Now our left rod is getting hit. Y'all grab that rod over there. Y'all grab that thing. I can't do but one at a time now. I'm gonna focus on the one in the hand. If y'all don't get it, he's liable to swim over here and get tangled up with this one. I'm just taking my time here with this thing. Bring him up on his pace. He ain't gonna be no monster, but boy, he's fought harder than the rest of them. Oh, and he come free right there. We got the quick release on him. That was perfect. That was absolutely perfect. We fought him all the way up, got to see him, got our line slimed up all to hell here. And then he pops himself free so that we can lower this bait back down before we pick up on the other one over here. That was absolutely perfect. Why can't they all be like that? At least the small ones. I want to get hold of the big ones, but them small ones like that, man, that's ideal. Somebody's trained that fish. That fish knows how to treat a fisherman. This one here ain't gonna fight like that other one. I think he's gonna be a bit smaller. Yeah, a tiny old blue cat. Hell, that channel cat was bigger than him. Come here, fish. Let's get you going quick. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Go down there and tell one that's big enough to be front camera worthy that I want to put my front camera mount up. I ain't doing it for you, fish. Get over. He's wanting to flop. Let's grab another one. Hell, I might end up wishing I'd got us some more shad before it's said and done, but I'd rather run out of bait than... Oh, we got it hooked up again on it. Let's get this out of the way. Well, I think he's gone now. Dadgummit. See, if y'all had been baiting this rod for me, I'd have been able to grab that one as soon as it went down. Now I'm gonna have to see if he stole our bait over there. Then I'm gonna try to get us moved back over to that side. The wind has just kept progressively pushing us toward this side of the channel while we've been fighting these other fish, but hell, we've been catching fish the whole way. We're just on something today, man. They're just abundant through here. There's so many of them, I don't really think we can do any wrong right now, to be honest with you. I think he's got our bait. Yeah, that one stole our bait. He got tired waiting on you to reel him in. He said, well, I'll just take off with this bait, man. I'll just take it with me. You know what let's do? Well, this one here is a little bit bigger shad. I'm gonna put another head on. I think at some point, let's catch one more here. And then we're gonna put on a whole bait. A whole shad, maybe with some slits in it. We got construction going on over here. We get rid of the houseboats, and here comes construction man. Say his name, and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Say construction, lawnmower man, weed eater man, leaf blower man. Never fails. Okay. All right, well, while we're not getting bit for a second, let's try to work back toward the other side of the channel here, if we can. Boy, I mean, we got a lot of action right through here, folks. That was really productive. Really productive through here. I'm gonna briskly run us across here, just because the wind, as we've gotten to kind of make the turn here, the wind, it seems like it's hitting us. It's blowing us side. So the current's pushing us this way, but the wind's pushing us this way. And when I get off the pedals fighting these fish, then it runs us up on this other ledge over here. So I want to try to get us back on this side as we drift around. Yeah, man, this is... Granted, now I would like to be catching good numbers of fish and some monsters, but if monsters aren't in our cards today, and you know, it's still time will tell. But I like getting the action, and we're definitely getting that. And look right here what we just rolled up on, man. Look at all them. I don't know what them are, but if they're cats, we're about to have some rods go down well, as I was coming across kind of fast, our baits comes up in the water, but as they sink down here and they fall right into the faces of those fish, we're liable to get bit here in a second. Very curious. That's a pile of fish. I don't know what those are, but if they're cats, our baits ain't gonna be down there long. I can't believe they ain't got hit yet. It must not be cats. I would have thought with that many right there, as soon as them baits fell down in their face, they'd have been on them. Maybe something else. That's the thing, man. When you're looking at a fish on this 2D graph, I can see that they're fish, but I can't tell you what they are just by looking at it. It could be cats, carp, buffalo, bass. I couldn't tell you. Oh, I think that might have been a snag, actually. Let's see what we're at. Yeah, I was about to get snagged up right there. That wasn't a fish, folks. Okay, that one's good. Actually, you know what? I think I knocked my bait off when I got snagged. Maybe it wasn't. No, it's still on there. Sometimes you just gotta ignore me, folks. I didn't think the bait was still on when I went to pick up on it. Depth's fluctuating a few feet. We went from 40 to 36, now we're at 38, but you know, we want to keep our baits there just off the bottom, so we got a little bit of leeway with me bringing them up 2 or 3 feet, but as we drift along and the depth changes, you have to raise and lower them to compensate. But this area through here, it's going to be pretty consistent all the way down through here. Oh, watch this. Take it. Ah, he ain't taking it very hard. This is another one. I ain't fighting as hard as I want him to. Man, I want a drag burner, man. Okay. This fish says, Justin, your wish is my command. He took all, he got his second wind. Literally, I said it and he takes off. He listened to me. He's another one though, it's gonna be a dink. I can tell. I want one, man, that's gonna take us 10 or 15 minutes to get in. That's what I'm wanting today. We get this, and I'm gonna put a whole shad on the next one. We'll just cut some slits in it, put the whole thing on. I don't know if it'll do us any different, but it'll be the biggest possible bait we can use. This has got some bubbles coming up from him here. He's gonna be, poundage-wise, he's probably comparable to the biggest one we've got, but that ain't saying much because the bar's been set so low. Y'all are on a dink fest kind of trip today, ain't you? Yeah, we're on a dink fest today, Blue Kitty. Come here now, come here. Calm it down. I wanted you to use that energy ripping that line off the reel, not now that I'm trying to get hold of you. Listen here, buddy, he's got nasty leeches on him too. I want to show you these leeches on him. As soon as I get him undone here. Boy, he's hooked good. Hellfire, get your pliers. Get your pliers, do it quick too before we blow back across the channel again. There we go. I want to take a camera here and show you this. Look at all this. See all by my finger there on his whiskers, all them leeches? The old nasty old fish. You got the leeches on him, buddy. He needs some salve on him. Okay. Let's try it. We got nothing to lose. We'll just take a knife, put some slits. I'm gonna put this on and then I'm gonna run us back across over there. That wind is, I think it's picking up here too. It's definitely blowing harder now. Let's hook him right through the back like that. In fact, let me just run us over there before I drop this down. I think the wind is picking up a smidge though. Let's just go back across over here toward this buoy. We'll drop this down. Other one, it'll be way up in the water column behind us as we pull across, but it'll settle once the kayak settles. In my heavier rigs, you see me using the 8-ounce sinkers all the time. And there's a reason for that. When I am trolling, I control about a half mile an hour with an 8-ounce sinker and keep my lines vertical under me. A lighter sinker will come up in the water column. Or if I'm anchor fishing and I'm anchored in like a half mile an hour current, that 8 ounces will keep everything vertical without the current raising it up. On these light tackle rigs, I'm still trying to figure out what size sinkers I need. When you're drifting with the current like we're doing today, it don't really matter. But if you're trolling, the resistance of the water pushing against your line and sinker and bait will raise it up if you have too light of lead, or if you're anchored or spot locked, whatever the case may be. The current flow pushing against your line and sinker and bait will raise it up if you don't have enough lead. So with the light tackle, the line is thinner, and all that, so there's not as much resistance on it. So I don't really know. I don't really know yet what I need. I may, and again, today it don't matter because we're drifting with the current. But as time goes on, and days we don't have current and we got to troll or something like that, I'm gonna probably have to tinker with the weight size to figure out what we need. Maybe go to 4s. That'll be the next size to try. Go from 2s to 4s. It'll add a little size, but might help keep it down a little easier. I've kind of, you know, that's kind of how it was when I was using the heavier gear and stuff. Like, it just took a while. It took time of me trial and error and experiment and figure out what I need. And so now I use the heavier gear. I know, based on current flow and what I'm doing, I know exactly what I need. This is still, everything's still work in progress, from the setups, the line, the hook, everything. We're just experimenting. But it's been a hell of a lot of fun experimenting with this stuff. We may have to raise our baits up a little bit. We're 35 feet right now. I may have come a little too high up on this ledge, possibly. I need to get my buff on. What I need to do. That sun's bearing down on me. Bright, sunny day. Beautiful fall day, but bright. We're gonna catch a tan out here if we ain't careful. I still gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with my head. So here's the situation, y'all. Again, yeah, y'all have heard me talk about this. I'm getting married coming up here very soon. I wear a hat all the time. I obviously can't wear a hat to the wedding, as our left rod gets messed with. If I have a hat on, he's a slow pull. There he goes. I didn't think he wanted it that bad. Will he come back for it? He's back on it again. We don't want that one, folks. That one's way too small. We don't want him. Tell him to quit. Either he quit, either he listened to me like the other one did, or he took the bait. We better check it. We better just see. Yeah, I'm glad I checked it. I'm glad y'all talked me into that, because it's gone. You know what, let's put on another whole shad. We hooked the other one through the back. I'm gonna hook that one through the snout. And I ain't gonna put no slits in him. We're just gonna send down a whole dead bait and see what that'll do. You think we'll do any good with it? I don't know. We'll find out. We know we've been on some fish through here, so if you're going to experiment, now's the time to do it. But here's the situation. So I wear a hat all the time, and I'm outside, obviously. So things that are exposed to the sun all the time, my hands, my feet, my face, are very tan. The rest of my body that's not exposed to the sun, arms, legs, nether regions, top of my head, is very pale. So normally when I've got a hat on everywhere I go, it ain't no big deal because people only see my face, which is tan. But when my beautiful bride starts walking down the aisle, I'm going to be standing there with a tan face and a pale forehead and head. And I've got to figure out what I'm going to do about that. Like, I'm just not certain I can get my top of my head tanned by the sun in time. You know what I mean? Like, I got to figure something out. And my neighbor girl, she, I've mowed her yard for a couple times back in the spring when her mower was tore up. Well, she owns a tanning salon in town here. And I think they do spray stuff. And I was thinking about maybe I would call her and ask her if she could spray paint the top of my head and make it match my face. You think that's possible? But I mean, if it gets messed up, and then, you know, I've got a super dark head and my face don't match or something, that's going to be a problem too. And, you know, my fiance, all her family's going to be there at the wedding. So, like, I'll never hear the end of it from her if things don't go right. And it happens in front of all her family and friends and stuff. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. The other thing we got to figure out right now, like everything's pretty much done. We're just on autopilot, just waiting at this point, with the exception. A buddy of mine is doing the ceremony. He got ordained. He likes being called the Reverend now because he's official ordained and all that crap. But anyway, he's doing the ceremony, and he's like, yeah, he's all excited about it. Hell, I think he's more excited about the wedding than me and her are because he's actually getting to perform a ceremony. He just got this. He got ordained because his initials are MLK. And MLK Day every January, you know, he thought it would be nice. He's like, yeah, my initials are MLK. If I become ordained, I could be a reverend like Martin Luther King was. And so he'd have his own day, his own holiday. That's why he done it. He never thought he'd actually get to marry somebody, but then we got to talking about it, and I was like, you know, it just so happens I'm getting married. And so anyway, it all went down, but like he's all excited about it, getting to do this. And, you know, he's been messaging me like, what are we going to do for our vows? And me and her had already talked about, like, we didn't want to do anything. We didn't want to write our own, basically. You know, we just wanted something kind of generic, if you will. Because we didn't want to, you know, me and her both. I mean, granted, I do this YouTube crap for a living, right? But I'm just out here talking to a camera by myself. When there's another, when Bass Boat Man's 100 yards away earlier, I get a little uneasy, a little uncomfortable, right? Like I don't like talking around people. So now you put me up in front of a group of people, especially her family and stuff, who I don't want to be a complete fool in front of. You put me up there and now I've got to memorize something like vowels. It would be a disaster. I don't want to do that. So we got to figure out like what we're going to say. And so, and you know, my friend Matt who's doing the ceremony, like he's worried about it. Like, you know, what are you going to say? Like, what are you, because he wants to practice this ahead of time. Like he wants to be, you know, this is his first time doing it. So he's nervous too, you know, like he wants to do it right, which I appreciate, by the way, that I appreciate him being so concerned about making sure everything's right. Like I'm, you know, you know, in this situation, you don't want somebody that don't give a damn, right? You know? Which was part of the thing, like, because we're getting married in Las Vegas. And so when you get them people out there that's done a million weddings, like, how into it are they really going to be? They don't give a damn, you know. Oh, or Shad, the one we didn't cut. Well, something got after him, but I'm going to just check it here, make sure we got a bait on there still. I want to just see. Yeah, he's on there and he's hooked okay. Just too small to get the bait, I guess. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. We're just kind of coasting now. We're just waiting for the date to roll around. We got everything arranged. I still got to go get fitted for my suit. But beyond that, Everything else is just ready to roll, other than the valves. And I don't know what the hell we're going to do. Hey, there's a bald eagle. Look at that. You see that bald eagle? Oh, I can't zoom on the camera. You may not be able to see him. That is a bald eagle, though. But yeah. Yeah, and we got to go, when we get out there, we got to go to some office in Nevada. You have to, part of your marriage thing, your marriage license, you do part of it online, and then you got to go out there in person. And it's like, this has always been my problem with getting married. Why the hell does the government get a say in it? Why do you have to have a license to get married? You know, it's just a way for the government to stick their nose in something and tax us on something. Why? What? The government ain't got no damn business. If me and her want to commit to each other, we should be able to do that. And the state, the government, shouldn't have any say one way or the other. I mean, people ain't got to have a damn license to have children. And that's a way bigger problem. Oh. Okay, I think he's got it. No, he don't. Oh, he got it all right. He got her bait. We got robbed. Interesting, though, that the one we didn't cut got hit with the other one down there that we did slice and is bleeding a little bit. Did not. Well, let's do it again. Yeah, I don't like the state having any say in what I'm doing. I mean, we pay. You got to pay for a driver's license, which I do think people need a license to drive. I absolutely believe you need that because you don't want just anybody out on the road. That makes sense. But two people getting married, what does the state, other than just collecting a fee, there ain't no reason for them to be involved in it. Pisses me off, man. Got to pay a fee for that. We already get taxed out the ass as it is. You got to pay property taxes, sales tax, gas tax, income tax. I mean, it just never ends. We lose all of our money to taxes. And yet the government's still broke. I mean, it'd be one thing if we were paying all these taxes and we had great roads and public facilities and public parks that were well kept, and you know what I mean? Like if everything was on the up and up with the government and they were using that tax money to make a better life for its citizens, that would be one thing. Hell, you could get behind that. But they just take that money and who the hell knows where it goes? Overseas? These special projects? Nobody knows what they turn into? I still don't understand, and I know I'm a bad guy for saying this, but like I don't understand why we are the police force and the humanitarian aid for every country in the world except for our own. Any war-torn country we'll go over there and provide troops and food and supplies for, but when bad things happen here at home, American citizens can't get diddly poo. I mean, me and fiance, we watched a documentary on Hurricane Katrina recently. It was that National Geographic documentary. 5-part episode, or 6-part maybe. 5 or 6 episodes, I can't remember. But it was really good. And, you know, it talked about really the aftermath after the levees broke. and what all went on with people. They got stuck there at the Superdome in New Orleans. They got stuck there at the convention center. And FEMA just couldn't coordinate anything. And it was a total disaster, right? And there's people down there in Louisiana that got displaced, and their whole lives got ruined. And our government don't do crap for them. But yet we're going to go and send money to every country around the world. It don't make no damn sense. Like, why don't you take care of your own? And so that's when these little things like, we're getting married and we got to get online and pay a fee and all that for a marriage license. That's why I get pissed off about it. Because what does that money go to do? Like, they shouldn't have any. If me and her want to make a commitment to each other in front of God and our families, we should be able to do that without the state being involved and sticking their hands in our pockets while we do it. And if they could say, well, Justin, we're doing this and this money is going toward fill in the blank, whatever it is, worthwhile cause, at least then maybe you get behind it. But we have no idea where that money goes. We have no idea. So it pisses me off when I think about it. And it should piss everybody off. But I mean, it's the frog in boiling water saying, if you put a frog in boiling water, it jumps out. If you put it in cold water and slowly heat it up, it'll boil to death. I don't know if that's true or not. I wouldn't torture a frog to find out. That seems very cruel. I like frogs. I wouldn't do that to them. I haven't seen a frog up close in a long time, but when I was a kid and, I was still living with my parents in a rural area, I can't say rural today, my mouth ain't working, but it was a rural area we lived in. I'd be down there in the creek. I'd catch frogs all the time. You'd get frogs in the creek. We'd get them tree frogs. They'd be hopping along the porch there and stuff. Man, I'd get frogs all the time. I like frogs. I wouldn't torture one to find out about that science experiment, but you've heard it. You know exactly what I'm talking about when I tell you this, the frog in boiling water thing. Like, we've all heard that. And it's basically just saying, like, all of these taxes, these fees that our government hits us with, they didn't happen all at once. When this country was founded, hell, I think, and I don't know, I never researched this, but I'd heard this, so I could be misspeaking facts here. But I'm pretty sure our big problem with England, when our ancestors revolted to form the United States of America and break away from England, was over a 2% tax. I'm pretty sure it was over 2% tax. Well, what would you give right now to only pay 2% tax? Can you imagine? Between our income tax, sales tax, gas tax, property tax, you got to pay registration fee on your car every year, car tags, marriage license fees. You pay all that shit, you've lost over half your income. When you add all that up, you've lost over half of it. And our ancestors were willing to die over 2%, man. So it's like, again, we didn't get hit with all this all at once. It was, well, we're going to implement this tax now. Well, we need a little bit more. We're going to raise it. Well, let's add this in. Well, and now here we are, 2025, and we're taxed to death and can't do nothing about it. Because once taxes go in place, like, even if a tax was increased or implemented to pay for a certain thing, a certain project, whatever, once that is done and paid for, the tax don't go away. It should. but it don't. Once the tax gets there, it's there to stay. It ain't going away, and it ain't getting lowered. You know, the city I live in, technically I'm in the county, but everything the city mayor and the city council does affects me because I'm just outside of city limits, so I shop there, grocery shopping, food, gas, all that. Everything affects me. And he's like, yeah, you know, they were bragging. They lowered property taxes there at the city council meeting a few months ago, and they were bragging how they had lowered taxes. I mean, boasting about it, how they had lowered them. What they failed to mention was in previous years where they had raised them up and then raised them and raised them and raised them. So now they did lower them. They did. But it's still way higher than it was 10 years ago from all the previous increases. So it's like, man, it just pisses me off. You work hard for your money, and you ought to be able to do with it as you see fit. And I do think, I mean, you know, I'm not opposed to paying, I'm not saying we should pay no taxes. I just think we ought to know where our tax dollars go. We ought to be able to see it. I'm seeing this rod go down right here. He hit it. We got a little tab. We may have to put on a piece of cut bait again. Them whole shad ain't getting the same attention as the cut pieces were. We were one fish after another for a little while. Then we've put on the whole shad, and we've only got one fish since then. But you know what I mean? Like, if you could show me where the money was going and let me see that it's worthwhile, I would be okay with giving a percentage of my money. I mean, there's some things like we all drive on the roads and the highways, right? So let's all chip in to pay for that. I got no problem with that. But when we're paying all that money, I mean, that gas tax, every time you pull into a gas, I don't know how it is in your particular state, but here in Tennessee, you pull in to the gas pump, and there's usually a breakdown on the gas pump itself. It'll tell you how much state tax, how much federal tax, local tax, whatever. And it's a big percentage of every gallon of gas. It's just taxes, which supposedly goes toward our roads. Yet, I don't know if any of y'all have driven in Tennessee lately. It's terrible. Every single road full of potholes. There's never-ending construction that never improves anything. It just never ends. And the roads still suck. Like, why the hell are we paying all this money in gas tax? Like, what would it take to do it right? And here's another thing. Speaking of roads, I've never been to Europe, okay? I think me and a fiance we haven't decided officially on a honeymoon location, but I think we may end up going to Europe, possibly. It won't be right after the wedding. Like, it'll be on down the line. But I'm thinking we're probably going to end up going over there. There's roads in Europe that have been there for hundreds of years and are just fine. Yet here in America, where we use asphalt, roads tear up every winter. Every winter we get potholes, tons of them. Why is it that people hundreds of years ago that didn't have the technology or the tools or the skills that we have today could make better roads than we can? Are you telling me that in 2025 we can't find a better way to make roads than the way we've been doing it in this country for the last however the hell long we've been doing it? Hold on, we got one working this right rod here. He's working it. I think we're going to have to probably should end up cutting one of these baits here. We'll give it a few more minutes and we're going to end up, oh, hit it again. He wants it, by God, get it. Get it. You can see that, I don't know if you could see that line, but it's swimming to the left here. He's got that bait and is swimming with it. And I don't know if he has the whole bait and the hook. He's trying to swim off with it. That line's plumb up there in front of us. Look, he's all the way up there. He's got it. He's got it, folks. We got him. We switched this out, though. I'm going to put on another piece of cut bait just to help our calls here. It's definitely, I don't know if the bite slowed down because we just got off the fish, or if it slowed down because fish like this just can't get the whole bait. This is a tiny one right here, though. Get out of here. We didn't want to catch you no way. We've had a hard time getting any quality today, that's for sure. Quality has definitely lacked to this point. But we are getting plenty of action until we switched over to whole shad. So we'll just go back to, we'll put a chunk on here. This is a smaller shad anyway. Something will be able to eat this, even if it's one the size of the one we just got. But it's like, I mean, am I crazy for thinking that there can't be a better way to make roads than what we've been doing it? And if there is, and obviously there is, because I mean, hell, there's roads in Europe that have lasted hundreds of years. Well, then it makes you wonder, I'm like, okay, are they purposely building roads and using asphalt just so that it'll tear up and they can keep a job, basically? So that the companies that fix these things can justify their existence? And it's like, who oversees that? That's the kind of thing that bothers me, because then that's just a waste of our money. That's a waste of our tax dollars. And I work too hard. Well, I don't really work that hard doing this YouTube crap. Let's be real, I don't. But you know what I mean. Like, everybody, you've earned, whatever money you get, you've earned it. And who the hell is it for our government to waste it? If you personally want to go waste your money, every year in the summer, I crack jokes about my neighbors because you've got a free fireworks show at the park that's better than any backyard home show would ever be. Yet these people, they go to the fireworks store and they're literally lighting their money on fire. That's what they're doing. They're lighting their money on fire. And, you know, I talk crap about that every year. But you know what? It's their money. And if they want to blow it, they can. But I don't think the money we're giving to our government should be blowing it. I think they should be extra cautious with it. Oh! Well, that chunk we just put down got hit. I'm going to have to check it. He hit it pretty hard. I'm wondering if he didn't rip it off. He didn't rip it off. I'm wondering now if he foul hooked it. I'm going to rehook it. I think it would have been okay to drop it down, but I am going to just fix that. We've missed a lot of fish today, but I don't know that it's the hook's fault today, because we've been on some really small fish at times. And I think maybe part of why we've missed the fish today have just been maybe tiny fish like that last one we caught. They get the bait and not the whole bait and hook. Yeah, that's my tirade on that, folks. I don't know how we got on this. Oh, because of the marriage license thing. But I'm going to pay the marriage license fee, because, I mean, you got to. And it's important to her, you know, have that marriage license. I think my friend Matt, I think he's going to get a copy too and put on his wall, since he will have performed the ceremony. I still got to figure out what I'm going to do for him. I think it's customary in a wedding for the groom to get something for the people that do stuff for you. You know what I mean? Like, we're not having a best man, bridesmaid, all that. Oh, fish. There, he's hooked up. Another small, though. Another small, not hard pulling fish. You can be small, just pull hard. Listen here, he's going just, I'm just pulling him up. He ain't even fighting. He ain't fighting at all. He ain't even trying. Look at him, he's just give up. He knows I think he wanted to be on this video. I think he purposely, he was just so excited to be on this video, he said he ain't even gonna fight. But you can see this fish here, man, this is why we've had some that have hit the baits and pulled the rod down a little bit, but not hooked up. Right here. He won't open his mouth either. Hook's down in there just deep enough, I can't get a hold of any part of it until he opens. I'm gonna pry his mouth open here with these pliers. Once you open up, I'd have that hook out in 2 seconds. He don't want me to get it out. He wants every second of camera time he can possibly get. This fish, but he's wanting to be a star. He saw his opportunity. You used me, fish. He used me, folks. You saw him use me. But we ain't doing no big, elaborate setup. I think she done that on my behalf because, you know, I don't have a lot of friends. I don't really like people all that much. And so I only have a few friends, one of which is performing the ceremony. So he obviously couldn't be a best man for me. And we're having this wedding in Las Vegas, so our friends that don't have a lot of extra cash, like they wouldn't be able to attend. So it really limits, not people. I mean, she's got a bunch of people coming. She's got, I mean, the entire crowd will be her people, friends and family. Me, I think Daniel from Catfish Sumo, really, you know, one of about my 3 friends that I have, he's coming. So he could have technically been a best man for me. But I think my fiance, realizing that I probably wasn't going to have anybody show up, decided she wouldn't have any bridesmaids. It'd just be me and her up there. So, but still, Matt is doing this, and of course I was going to get his hotel room there. He's driving in. He's working in Nevada right now. He's a travel nurse too. That's how I'd become friends with him years ago. I was a travel nurse, and you know, prior to this YouTube crap taking off, and so I had met him actually in Clarksville, Tennessee, back in, I think it was 2014, I think. And then I went back a second time to Clarksville in 2017 or 18, I guess. But anyway, he was living there, working there, staff nurse at the time. Became friends with him, and then he since started traveling, and so we've kept in touch. You know, he's the ideal friend for me because he don't get pissed off if I don't keep in touch, and I don't get pissed off if he don't keep in touch. So like one of us will get to wondering about the other. Like about once a year, I'll be thinking like, hell, I wonder what happened to Matt. I wonder if he's still alive. And I'll reach out, I'll send a text or something, or he'll the same thing with me. Like, I wonder if Justin's still alive. And he'll text me, and you know, we can either text a few times or have a phone conversation for a little while and pick up right where we left off a year or two before when we last talked. And it's perfect. And so anyway, he's a travel nurse now, and he's out there in Nevada. Not in Las Vegas, but he's in Nevada. And so he's going to drive in for the wedding, but I'm just going to get his hotel. But I need to do something else for him for performing the ceremony and all. I don't know what to do. When I was forced to be in a wedding before, I got like a little, it was like a monogram flask thing, like my initials or something, which I don't drink alcohol, so I would have never used this thing. And then the guy that I was what do you call it, groomsman? I wasn't the best man, but like I was in the wedding. Anyway, him and his wife, the one he married, got divorced, so I don't guess you'd keep that stuff to commemorate a wedding that didn't matter anymore anyway. But anyway, I mean, like, it was completely, I guess, a nice gesture, but like completely, it's not functional for me as a gift. Like, I would never use that thing. And so as far as a gift for Matt goes in this situation, I'd like for it to be something he'd use or something he would want. But I don't know. I mean, what do you get somebody? Like, I'm a terrible gift giver. I'm terrible at it. Like, and it's like, I mean, every year I'm like this at Christmas time with my parents. I'm like, what do you get people that have everything and have no hobbies? Like, what do you do? You know, my mom likes going to yard sales and selling stuff on eBay that she finds on there. That's her hobby. Well, how do you buy a gift for that? She don't like flowers. She don't like chocolates. She don't like fancy clothes. Like, I mean, every year I struggle. Like, what do I get my mom for Christmas? And, you know, thankfully my fiance, my soon-to-be wife, like, she's a lot easier to buy for because she's more of a girly girl, so you can always find some purse or something that she's wanting. But yeah, like, just random gifts and stuff to buy, like, I'm terrible at it. I'm not a thoughtful person, I guess. I'm just not good at that kind of thing. But I got to get him something. I got to come up with that soon. I don't know. I bet you there's probably, well, you know, I guarantee you if I got online and searched, it would probably bring up that monogram stuff like that fella had got me back in, which I mean, hell, I was in his wedding. I've lost touch with him because that was 20 years ago probably. I didn't even know him and that girl had gotten divorced until I saw her out with another man. I thought, oh boy, it's about to go down. And I looked them up there on social media, and of course, the fella that I was friends with, he's like me. Yeah, he has a social media profile, but he never posts anything. Like, I post on my business page for Kayak Catfish, but like my personal page, I ain't posted nothing on there in years. I don't. But his wife, who was his ex-wife, after I saw her out with another man, I didn't know. You know, because I wasn't friends with her on social media, but I got on her page. I'm like, oh, well, they've got divorced, and she's done got remarried, and she has a kid with this other guy, and boy, I've missed out. I've missed out on a lot of drama, apparently. You know, I didn't have a clue. Some friend I am. But, yeah. I bet you, though, if I search for wedding gifts, it would probably come up with that kind of monogram crap that nobody wants. Oh. Got a bump. That was on the whole shad. There it goes. There it goes. Oh, he's gonna pull a little harder. You can see, look right there on the screen. Look at that. We got back on something here. At least this one's gonna fight a little bit. I say that, now we're pulling him right up. Some of these fish today have been so small, they're even too small for the lighter tackle. This one at least started out a better fight. Well, he's a dink, but bigger than the last one. Come over here, let's get you unhooked. We got more of your friends to catch down through here, if any of these people are still watching. You know, this was supposed to be a day of me kind of just bringing you along on a real fishing trip, and I hope this is what you've gotten today, from the bait catching to the fish catching. Some days you go out and you get big fish, and some days you don't, folks. And we ain't got the big one yet, but we've gotten several. And some days, listen, we've had a lot of action today. Some days, though, they ain't no action. Like, some days you get skunked. I've been skunked plenty of times. Hell, I got skunked when I went down there to Chattanooga recently. I had more excitement trying to get out of the McDonald's parking lot than I did on the water. So, oh, there goes that one. Let me just look at all them fish right there, man. We're back on them again. We're right here in front of this creek. Let me drop this down, and then we're gonna pick up on that, if he's still on there. Okay, we'll put that one down there in those fish's face while we, nope, he come off. He come off, he got our bait while I was fooling with the other one there. My old fiddlesticks. That last one was the one we had cut, so do another piece of cut bait here. I thought we had better quality shad than that, but I was so focused on not throwing the camera out of my chest. I guess I didn't realize how some of these were pretty small. Either way, we're getting bit with them. 35 feet here, right here in front of this creek, you can see in front of us. There's some fish down there under us right now. I've caught some big fish here in front of this creek in times past, but I don't know today if there's big fish here or not. That's the thing about fishing, man, you just never know. But I hope with the videos like we've done today, if there's any of you still watching, that you get that real experience, man, from what it's like catching bait, from making your way downriver, how we're approaching it here, how we're working the ledge, our rigs and stuff, like, and you know, in today's case, sorting through some dinks. It's not been a good quality day, but like if we were out here for a fish fry, man, you could feed your whole neighborhood. Now, if you fed them these fish, you'd give them cancer because everything's contaminated, but still, like, I mean, it's all about what your goals are. But here's the other kicker on this, folks. Let's say we come out here today, we got my normal setup, my normal heavy gear rods, bigger baits. Would we have caught anything? Now, all these dinks, they would have been chewing up our baits for sure. Like, they've been aggressive. They'd be coming up and taking bites out of our larger baits, undoubtedly. Would we have caught anything? Maybe, you know, some of them, they hit the bait just right, get the hook. maybe we could, but I guarantee you we wouldn't have caught as many as we've had. And with the heavier gear rods and the smaller fish that we've been out here on today, they wouldn't have been any fun to catch. At least some of these smaller ones that have fought hard have been fun. So there's that. You know, I mean, it's one thing about the light tackle. It's if you're using lighter tackle, smaller baits, smaller hooks, your chances of getting skunked go way down. Your chances of catching every fish that you come in contact with, yeah, I mean, we've missed a lot of fish today, but still, we've had a high win percentage here today. I guarantee you we've caught more fish than Bass Boater Man over here is pulling out. He probably ain't caught a damn thing. Y'all wave at him as he goes by. I'm not going to wave unless he waves. Oh, he's waving. I got to throw my hand up. It was polite of him. We really, I mean, we've had a pretty good day. We ain't seen many boats. We saw all them houseboats there, which was weird. We had all them houseboats come through, and then nothing since. Weird. But otherwise, I mean, it's been a pretty solid day out here. Now the wind, it was kind of kicking up. It's completely calm right now. We just out here, probably, you know what our biggest problem, truth be told, as far as quality of fish goes is? Wrong time of day. You know, I got a later start today and probably should have been on the water at sunrise or waited till the evening to catfish. I don't do a lot of fishing this time of day unless it's wintertime. And I only do it then because it's so damn cold in the mornings and evenings. But we're kind of in that in-between right now. I do think next, oh, there it goes. There's another one. There's another one. On the chunk. He ain't very big, but he's trying hard, folks. When you can't bend these rods over, you know it ain't a very good fish. I was saying, I do think next week we are supposed to warm up a little bit again, at least the lows anyway are going to be a little warmer. So I'll probably do some more sunrise trips. What do you think, Fish? You think I'll get a better quality fish at sunrise? He said, Justin, it can't hurt. He said, you can catch me 24 hours a day. But my bigger kinfolk, they don't want nothing to do with you at this hour. That's what he told me. You heard him. This fish here wouldn't lie to me, would you? You wouldn't lie to me. Boy, that hook's... Give me a hook, Fish. There we go. He wasn't coming free. Go on. We'll put another piece of cut bait on. We'll do the whole bait on the left and the cut bait on the right. That cut bait's keeping us in business, though. That bigger shad must be down the bottom of that bag, but it don't matter. I think no matter what we throw down right now, just because there's these smaller aggressive fish around, I think they're going to be on it, whether they can fully get the bait or not. At least with the smaller baits, we're going to hook more of them and reel them in. I do like catching a lot of fish, though. Like I said, I do a fair amount of ultralight fishing. Someday when my YouTube days are behind me, I'll do more ultralight fishing. Right now, I do still feel compelled to try to put out mostly catfish videos because this is a catfishing channel. But when the day comes that YouTube is officially behind me, I will probably do about 50-50 split, I would say, between catfishing and ultralight fishing. Just because I just like getting a bunch of action on the ultralight rod and everything. I mean, hell, a 5-inch bluegill's fun on the ultralight. And as we get in further into fall here, I mean, you know, we've still got afternoon temps in the 80s. We're just now starting to get these big massive schools of shad out in the channel and stuff. But once we get on in October, November, in that range, like the bite's going to really pick up for everything. And man, the ultralight fishing then, you get them fish aggressive, feeding up for winter. I love it. But my next trip is going to be a carp session. I got some new gear. I got to try out the Carp Sumo brand gear. Daniel there, owner of Catfish Sumo, who finally, after all these years, I've got him to make some carp gear. So he sent me a little care package I'm going to try out. I think he's going to fish with me if everything goes according to plan. But I'm going to do that, try out that carp gear, hopefully catch some carp and some buffalo if all goes well, and throw the bicycle that Daphne's getting, hopefully today, onto that. And then next week, definitely be doing some more catfishing, but I'm probably going to have to do another ultralight trip too. I kind of want to, and I went out there, I guess, I think it's been 2 years ago now. I went out to Del Hollow. Oh. Boy, I thought it had been inhaled, but I guess he come up and tail slapped it. But anyway, I went out to Del Hollow, and I didn't end up getting a video. I caught a few fish, but I didn't do well enough to get a video. I'd like to go back. That's one of them places, like 2 hours away. There's no reason I shouldn't go more often, but I never go out there. But you talk about a beautiful place, a great place to ultralight fish. That is one of those places. And another place I'm wanting to go at some point in ultralight is Reelfoot Lake. It's on the other side of Tennessee. It's about 6 hours from me. So it's a commitment to go out there. But I'd like to go out there for a couple days and just see what all I could get in there. I mean, it's supposedly got a bunch of big bluegill, big crappie, supposedly some channel cats in there too. I don't know if there's any blues or flatheads in there or not. Somebody may have put them in. Oh. Has he got it? He's trying for it. He's got it. Another small, but he's fighting at least. He's giving it everything he's got down there, folks. This is Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson, buddy. He's going in there. He don't know he's supposed to lose. Old Buster Douglas. Ain't never been a bigger upset in all of sports. Maybe the Miracle on Ice hockey team beating the Russians. The only reason people cared about that was because of the Cold War. But as far as like real upsets, man, Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson. He didn't break me off. He unhooked himself. That's another fish that's been perfectly trained right here, folks. Well, if they could all be like that. All them small ones just unhook themselves. Perfect, buddy. Stick another piece of cut bait on. But yeah, I may end up taking a little day trip out to Dell Hollow at some point, or maybe make a couple day trip out to Reelfoot. I'd honestly kind of like to go back to Louisiana too. We got our tournament coming up there in November. I don't have a desire to fish the tournament, but I wouldn't mind making a trip back out there at some point. If I go back to Louisiana, I'd like to take the Lynx, because the roads out there in Louisiana are so bad. I mean, I talk about the roads in Tennessee. Boy, the roads in Louisiana, awful. Worst roads I've ever driven on. So I'd like to not take the trailer. I'd like to just haul a kayak in the back. And last year when I went, I took this kayak, but I had to have a bed extender. And the Lynx, I don't have to. So I'd like to take the Lynx and try to get on some more of them drum or some alligator gar, maybe even some sharks down there. You know, I'd like to go do that. So I just got a lot coming up. We've got the wedding in Las Vegas, and then the Florida Keys trip also in November. So for me to go do something, I either got to go do something before the wedding or in between the wedding and the Florida Keys trip. And honestly, I like being somewhere else once I'm there, but I don't like all the traveling. Now, fortunately, on the plane to Las Vegas, the seats, it's 3 people per row. And so me, my fiance, and her best friend are all going to be on one row. We're all sitting beside each other. So I ain't gonna have no issues like when we went to Las Vegas last year, where I got stuck sitting beside a whopper. I told that story and pissed a bunch of people off. But guaranteed for that not to happen this time. But yeah, once I'm there, I like it. I like being somewhere else, fishing somewhere new, doing something different. But the act of traveling, yeah. I will say it's better now that I got the truck. Like driving 13 hours, 14 hours down to the Florida Keys, way better in the truck versus my compact car, for sure. Way more comfortable, tolerable. But still, when you're making a long drive, it's still tiresome. And I like putting the kayak in the back of the truck too, versus having to tow a trailer. Because some places, like you go to the beach, man, there ain't parking for trailers. Even if you get a hotel at the beach, like a lot of the hotels don't have trailer parking. Like you just kind of SOL. But if you got a kayak in the back of your truck, you can park anywhere. So it's nice, but I don't want to fish, like for Louisiana purposes, I don't want to fish the tournament in the Lynx. I mean, I guess I could, but I'd be kind of limited. And I don't want to be limited in a tournament, especially a tournament where not many people are going to be there and the payout ain't going to be very good. Like that tournament in Louisiana, last year we had 7 people. And 2 of the people out of the 7 from last year for sure ain't going this year. So how many people are you going to have? And, the payout, you're going to have to win the damn thing for it to be worthwhile financially. And like, hell, I'd just rather go when I want to go, versus trying to have to go win a tournament to make any money from it. So I probably won't fish that tournament. But I did do 4 of the 6 tournaments this year. So I'm in contention to win angler, even though there ain't no prize for it apparently this year. I'm in contention to win. I'm in the lead right now. The door's left wide open though. If somebody goes to one of these tournaments, like either the Texas one, I think the Texas one will have some people. But, you know, Louisiana, they'd be 5 people there. But if you win and there's only 5 people, you still get the same amount of points as you win if you get a tournament with 30 people. So the door's open for somebody to beat me for Angler of the Year. Scores are top 4. And the 4 tournaments I fished, I had a first, a second, a fourth, and a 6th place finish. And that 6th place finish at Hoover, if I could have got a top 3, maybe top 4 there, I'd have it in the bag. But I've left the door open for Angler of the Year purposes, which, I mean, if there was a big cash prize for it, like last year, I'd be more gung-ho about trying to win it, but you got to have a carrot, man. You got to have a carrot dangling on a stick for this stuff to matter. We just didn't have it this year. No Angler of the Year prize, at least nothing yet, and the season's about over. So I'm not optimistic that he's going to be able to get a prize for it. And turnout's down, payouts are down. Meanwhile, expenses are up. I mean, everything's more expensive these days. Food, hotels, all that. So it's like, it's getting, other than just the fun factor of going to the tournaments, hanging out with the guys and stuff, it really just ain't worthwhile to do the tournaments. At least not on a national level. If it's a tournament that's close by, a reasonable drive from the house, it's okay, but it's hard to justify driving 6 hours, or, you know, in the case of Texas, like 15 hours, 8 to 10 hours, depending on traffic for Louisiana. Like, it's hard to justify driving that far, taking on all that expense, and then having to win so that you might break even. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta have an incentive, man. You gotta dangle that carrot on the stick. You dangle the carrot on the stick in front of the turtle, he'll keep walking, trying to eat that carrot. It's like us dangling a shad on the end of a line here in front of these catfish. We keep doing it, they'll keep eating it. If we quit dangling that shad, they're gonna quit biting. I do think I want a bite though. I think I want to get a bite to eat. Our left rod got hit. Look at this. He's sitting there with it. We're getting hit with the boat wake now. He may have just let it go. I can't tell. We're bouncing around with the damn boat wake. He'd hit it though. He may still have it. I can't tell. He does still have it. I'll be doggone. Hey, we're bouncing. Oh, it's gone now. Now he's on this one now. We're bouncing around the boat wake. I couldn't tell if he had it or not. He let it go. But this one still got it. We're directly in front of the entrance of this creek now. And you actually see here, maybe you can see on the graph that little X there. That's a waypoint that I've marked, like the actual entrance of this creek where I've caught big fish before. And we could have come out here today and, you know, instead of drifting, we could have probably just set up either in front of this creek or the one I launched in, and probably caught fish with as many numbers of fish as has been down through here. We could have probably anchored down and set still and just caught them the whole time. But getting on the move, this time of year, I still feel better about moving versus anchoring. Next month, we'll kind of get back to more anchor fishing, but right now, oh, no, he dropped it though. Dadgummit, well, let's get this one. Let's put another one on this one right quick. While that one thinks about what he's done over there. I thought that one was really going to take off. Doggone fish playing games with me. Toying with me, man. Playing games with our emotions. I was just about to say though, I ain't gonna fish much longer. I'm gonna go get some lunch. It's past my lunchtime. I don't know about y'all. I don't know when you probably eat when you do this. Me, I used to carry snacks on the kayaks with me. But it never failed. Well, if I was doing an edited video, a fish would bite when I had a mouthful. And it used to drive people crazy, and they'd complain about it back when I had comments on and stuff. And it gave me a complex. And so now, the only time I eat on a trip is like if I'm in a tournament and I'm gonna be fishing all day or something. That's the only time I bring food with me. I definitely wouldn't want to eat though on one of these unedited videos, because you'd just hear me crunching and chewing and smacking my lips the whole time. Sometimes I'll get on Facebook because, you know, I've just been on Facebook. I've just been trying to do a money grab on there, just posting stuff and getting them little video clips to go viral and whatnot, which they still do, which is amazing to me. The kind of crap that goes viral on there. But sometimes I'll get on there and set on my, okay, that one's pulling a little bit there now. He thinks he's headed up there in that creek, I reckon. Bad news, fish, you coming back this way. Yeah, we're right here over that waypoint I'd previously marked, which you can see where them buoys are too, kind of marking the entrance of this creek. But I was just, the waypoint here is off the bottom edge where it starts to go up into that creek. A little bit larger dink, a little bit bigger. You got anything you want to say for yourself? Oh, there you go. He got plenty to say for himself. I'm gonna say, fish, you're one of the biggest fish of the trip here, somehow imaginable. As crazy as that is. You better calm down now. He's hooked kind of deep in the mouth. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do on him. He's hooked kind of deep, and if I go to grab him, that line's gonna be rubbing around on his tooth patch. So I'm just gonna net him and bring him in. That way it'll take the pressure off that line and we can get hold of him a little easier. He is the biggest one of the trip. I ain't saying much today, but he is the biggest one. Come here, fish. Let's see if I can get that thing without the pliers. I think I'm gonna need the pliers. Give me them pliers, fish. Let me get to them. I don't even remember what I was talking about before you hit now, too. I done broke my train of thought. It's all right, fish. I forgive you. You're worth breaking train of thought over. Hell, ain't nobody still watching at this point anyway. Okay, there we go. Get your fins out the net. There he is. We'll hold you out like that. You ain't front camera worthy. We'll at least hold you out like that. Get on out of here, you old thing. Well, folks, here's what I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna get the heck out of Dodge, man. I think I'm gonna go get a bite to eat. And, you know, I put in, I don't know, 1.5 miles or so from here, probably 2 miles. I come out of that other creek and then come down, and we've drifted down now probably, you know, 1.5 miles here, just all things considered, figuring the time and whatnot. So we're just gonna leave them biting, I guess. I mean, there's still some fish. You can still see them right there. Oh, well, let's get us maybe one more here. Let's see if let's let him get it. There he's got it now. Nope. I was gonna say we might get We might get one more after all here. He may have got her bait. I think he got her bait, folks. Well, he got it all right. He ripped everything but the head off. Them dinks, man, they're aggressive and rough. Yeah, folks, I think I'm gonna call it quits. I've had a good time out here, you know, productive session. We just couldn't get to quality, but hopefully it's been beneficial to you. We've had a more productive session than Pontoon Boat Guy right here. I guarantee he didn't catch nothing today. He didn't catch a daggone thing. Look at him. He didn't catch nothing. They got skunked. But hopefully it's been worthwhile for you, seeing the bait catching, the bait cutting rigs, how we're approaching this, and coming with me on a real fishing trip. I like doing this style of video. It's more fun for me to do this than to kind of do like a highlight video where I got to do a bunch of editing on the computer and waste half my day doing computer crap. You know, I'd much rather do this. So, yeah. Productive. I don't know how many fish did we end up catching. I mean, it's been a bunch for the time that we've been out here, but nevertheless, I'm headed back. I'm headed back toward the car. I'm gonna swing by one of these choke and puke fast food restaurants on the way home, grab a bite to eat, get some lunch, and yeah, for those of you that come back and visit the channel again, I'll see you on the next trip. Thanks for coming with me today.